It's on you now.
Welcome back to Redacted Party Chat, Case 21. We're here. It's now Resident Evil 9. We have all completed it. This is the episode we're talking about it. But first, how's everyone doing? Adrian, how's your night?
Oh, night's going good. Just made some delicious kielbasa and rice, and just kind of enjoying some good company with you gentlemen and my stanky animal hanging out in the corner with me. So, but yeah, no, my night's going good.
Good. Brandon, how are you?
Pretty good. I go by Jedediah now, in case anybody was wondering. I had a facial hair mishap.
I was going to say, how are you connecting if you are now Amish?
Yeah, right?
He changed his skin, so now he's like a +5 in carpentry.
Yeah, dude, literally. Yeah, I was trying to line it up, went a little too high. It turned into like a Pepe Le Pew. I was like, well, gotta be Amish for a couple weeks. It is what it is.
Good on you for getting out ahead of it.
Yeah, it's just, I'm not going to sit here and fight with it. It's cool. But yeah, pretty good. Today's wind was insane, dude.
Yeah.
I was over by Speedway, the one that, had the pizzas on sale. Dude, the highway sign was literally dog, I'm talking really rocking down. Like, I thought it was going to come down. I literally went around it. I'm like, oh, that thing's going to guillotine somebody. I've never seen a sign.
Did you stop back at the shop?
Yeah, I did.
A tree fell on the garage.
Really? It must have been after I left.
Yeah, a tree fell on the garage. I got back and yeah, there was just a tree on the garage. And then I went to my truck, and obviously you have seen my truck and know that the bed of my truck is lopsided as hell, about ready to come off that. I just took like a tiny branch and put it on the bed of the truck and then posted it in the work chat. I was like, this branch fell on my truck and it completely ruined my bed. Who do I talk to about this?
That's super funny.
Well, Paul messaged me back. He's like, yeah, I'll call the police and get the insurance people right on. And I said, okay, thank you. Please make sure to use the phrases mint condition and under 10,000 miles.
That's awesome. That's really cool. But yeah, outside of that, everything's pretty good. I can't complain. That Netflix dinosaur documentary. Check it out.
Recommended.
Recommended.
Redacted recommendations.
Yeah. How about you? How you feeling?
Exhausted, as usual. My power did go out for about 30 minutes today, so finally came back on. And it perfectly went out as my laundry was going. So filled with water.
Dry.
Oh.
Door was locked, so of course I'm just looking down into it, trying to open the door and just drowning. I could smell the detergent in my laundry room. This needs to be fixed immediately. And luckily it kicked back on and I could finish washing the shirt that I'm currently wearing, but that scared me. But yeah,
it's the moment of despair. Just this is not good.
Because I totally forgot that I put it in, and then the power went out, and then 15 minutes go by. I'm like, the laundry's still in there, and clunk.
It's weather like this that makes me realize how lethal things could be, because we work with sheet metal, and we're like, Lee's like, oh man, what if there's a tornado, man? You know, I'm like, Lee, this entire basement is full of long, thin pieces of metal and small, sharp pieces of metal. If a fucking tornado hits, this is gonna be a blender, dude. We're fucking cooked, man. If a tornado hits this house directly, it's a wrap. There's no way out of this for us, dog.
I'm less worried about the tornado at that point.
Right, like I'm worried about a
I
strong.
guess I never thought about that. Wow.
I'm worried about a strong enough gust of wind even hitting some of this metal, dude. We're gonna be fucking cooked.
Will it blend? Guaranteed.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm gonna be hanging out in one of those ninja blenders, and it's just me as tomato puree.
Dude, I should have took a video of that highway sign coming down. Like it really was alarming. I was surprised people were driving under it. I'm like, oh yeah, you're tripping. You're about to get
Final destination.
Edgar Allan Poe. Just
people have both, somewhere to be, and also like a irrational trust of like man-made structures, as if man-made structures don't fail, or if they're like meant to withstand everything. Like we live in Ohio, so I get it, but like they seem to forget that during hard enough natural forces, an entire home will be lifted off the ground. So the idea that a sign could fall down is very, very possible. Very, very possible. They said that there was a semi-truck ban on the highway.
I saw that.
The winds were strong enough, so they're going to flip the damn semi-trucks. And then, of course, we get on the highway, and we're directly next to a big-ass Target truck. Mm-hmm. And he's like, that's some kind of omen, dude. That's some kind of omen. We got to get away from this truck.
No, dude. Yeah, it was yanking my truck all over, and I don't even have a really big truck.
Like, thankfully we have like the normal van. We don't have the transits that are like 2 feet taller. Or we probably are fighting for our damn lives.
For sure.
Yeah. Other than that, platinum for Night Rain under the belt.
Oh yeah.
On to the next one.
Well, the last couple games I played, Night Rain being one of them, are very doable platinums. So I am. Yeah. I plan on. I haven't looked at the trophy list, but they seem doable. Well, I've peeked at it. I didn't unveil all the hidden ones, but I figure it's probably going to be a handful of them are going to be the remembrance ones, and then just beating the game, which I enjoy. Both.
I don't even know if there is a trophy for that.
The remembrances?
I don't know if there is.
There's not?
It's like get to all the Shifting Earth events, kill the Night Lord with every boss, get to level 15, have multiple like high tier weapons or gear in your inventory, and off the top of my head, I think I only have like 6 trophies left to get. Like we're gonna get those just by playing.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
so they're not difficult at all, really. Like the main one you'd maybe have to like really think about is gonna be changing your characters out for those fights.
I'm just gonna play them exactly the way I've been playing Raider.
Just random with Recluse.
For people that are curious, I have only played Raider. Well, I played Guardian a little bit, but I'm just gonna play them all like Raider. Should work out fine.
Yeah, we knocked out one of the hardest ones, which is beat a boss 3 in a row without losing, and we knocked that out the other night. So
I didn't even realize that was an accident. We were just doing some shit.
The next hardest one is beating a boss or a final boss with each of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's just time consuming.
I don't think it would be too bad if we were to cycle off like let's just say I need to be a weak character, you two be Raider.
Yeah. Well, then again, we can just we don't have to fight any hard bosses necessarily. Not to push out, but it's like I have 2 more bosses to beat,
right.
And once those 2 bosses are beat, I'll fucking fight Gaping Jaw with all those bosses. Or whoever's the easiest. I will fight the easiest final boss with all those. Like it's trophy hunting at that point. I don't owe that game fighting, the night aspect with all the characters. I don't need to do that. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. I'm a grown man.
Exactly.
After that episode of Redacted Tactics that just went live today. We just cleaned up shop. I feel like we just figured it out in that fight, and it was just over with after that. We literally just rolled Tide all the way through.
I'll go ahead, Vaughn.
I was gonna say I'm so sorry for my mic in that video. I know I put it in the description, but I don't know why the highest tier Sony mic that you can get for the PlayStation is so garbage. But I'll switch to this mic and play on this TV then.
I wonder.
Maybe it's because I'm a professional asshole, but I replayed the end like 4 times. The despair in Brandon's voice when I'm like, "Oh, phase 3, let's go!" He's like, "No way!" Don't say that, dude. I'm like, "God
damn it, dude, don't say that."
I don't know if I'd ever play it again if there was a third phase to that guy.
Dude, I don't know how anybody would beat it. That he was on some bullshit. He was doing like Street Fighter fucking crossovers and blowing everything up. Like whoever's doing this is whoever would have done a phase 3 on that. Hey, it's all yours, big dog. You can have it.
Yeah, that even though that cross up he was doing was annoying, I do respect it because it's kind of cool that it's like he has a punish for every single character in the game specifically. So if you're gonna, I think I was shielding up. It's like, oh, you're gonna shield up, bet. I'm going to hit you so hard it's going to knock you over, and then he's coming from behind me before I can even recover. It's like, that is cool. It is a cool move. I'll give it to him. I hate him, but it was cool.
Agreed. All right. Well, for this episode, we're going to jump right into it. But before that, the usual, check out the socials that just popped up. I, again, redesigned the link tree a little bit. So added some new colors, tweaked some graphics, added our theme song at the bottom with a perfect friggin' loop. Listen to it.
Perfect friggin' loop.
It's amazing. We got the countdowns on the second page. We got the metadata all working now, so it's super slick. We have our usual Saturday streams at 8:30 p.m. Adrian's still killing it in RE8. We should be able to knock that out in the next episode. And then
we'll fight the urge to hunt.
No, treasures.
Yeah.
Can't get around here. This house is a prison.
After that, the shows come out every Monday at 6:30, as you're listening to right now. And like Brandon said, latest Tactics came out. Check it out. Night Rain. Ignore my audio. Again, embarrassed, but whatever.
It didn't seem too bad. Like Brandon said, it seems like he did editing kind of around it, which it sucks because everybody loves to hear the dulcet tones of your voice, but
I did some additional editing to make it less miserable. So, yeah. But yeah.
It really was mostly just that one in the very beginning, but I just didn't want to cut your audio completely out there. I didn't want it to just sound like it's just me and Adrian. I was like,
Yeah. Very fair. But we appreciate everyone checking it out. Thank you for joining. Thank you for helping us reach the 50 subscriber milestone on YouTube.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Super awesome. Next goal is 100. Tell your friends, tell your family, grandpa, grandma.
Take their phones. Just do it for them. They know. You know what they want. They don't know what they want.
While you're stealing their credit card, steal their phone. Subscribe.
Yeah.
But with that said, let's jump right in. For this episode, we're going to do a semi-review, semi-overview of the whole game. We're kind of going to go chapter by chapter, talk about what happens in them, and then our feelings about each chapter, and kind of develop it from there. And we'll see how it goes.
There will be spoilers. I feel like that is obligatory, but it is only fair that we verbalize that. So
Grace is burying a skin suit.
Well,
okay.
There it is.
Record time. Under 15 minutes episode. Done. But yes, as Adrian said, big spoilers for RE9. If you haven't played it yet, turn this off, finish it, come back, and then hear our thoughts on it. With that, let's jump right into it. Do we want to talk about just very basic impressions and then go into the first chapter, or do you want to go right to the first chapter?
Your call. Follow your lead.
Let's jump right into the first chapter. So, we are introduced to Grace, a new character in the Resident Evil franchise, but with a familiar last name, Ashcroft. Her mother, Alyssa, from the Outbreak series. Kind of a underrated Resident Evil, not one talked about much. They haven't really done anything with that game at all.
It was ahead of its time, realistically. Yeah. I think so. Like, I think it was just kind of a new concept that a lot of people couldn't, vibe with as much. But I feel like that game would kill now.
I have no context for that game. What's unique about it?
Don't give him any context. Fuck that guy. It's like a scenario-based Resident Evil game. There's multiple missions there because there was Outbreak 1 and then Outbreak 2. Essentially, there's different scenarios. We're in different locations in Raccoon City, and you can be different characters with different kind of like specialties and abilities. And there was like an RNG. There's RNG elements to it. So like items are kind of randomized, and enemies, like enemy placement, can be randomized, and certain events can be randomized. So essentially, you're trying to coordinate as a team. It's a multiplayer game, and you're coordinating on the PS2. That's what I'm saying. It's like way ahead of its time, where not only the randomization aspect, but like the, you could play with bots, but it's one of those games where you can't really play it with bots because there's certain things even that are like special things that bots just will not do. But yeah, you essentially you're playing online with people and you're having to coordinate and figure out you have to complete a certain number of things. Essentially, it's like a big scavenger hunt. It's an RE style, randomly there's certain guaranteed placements because it was still early, but it's like randomized placement of items, and you're coordinating with your team to essentially try to escape. Every scenario had like an escape condition that you were looking to do. One of them was like repairing a tank. One of them was like finding a key and moving debris and stuff like that. But every level had a boss. So essentially you're getting all this stuff together with your teammate while trying to all conserve resources and then beat the boss and then exit the area.
It's a pretty hard game.
Oh no, that thing. Oh, and there was, you weren't like, which ironically we'll talk about it in Resident Evil when we're talking about 9, but these weren't like the super survivors that you are in these other games where they're pretty much unaffected by the virus. As the game is progressing, every character is getting more and more infected, and you have an infection meter, and all the different characters get infected at different rates, and getting hurt and attacked increases your infection rate. So sometimes you'd have to take items to decrease that, because if it hit 100%, you just turn into a fucking zombie. And so now you're in, like, you can't control them, but you are an active enemy against your teammates.
That's really interesting. I wonder if then that's what the DLC is, because they're saying mini games, so everybody's mind goes to mercenaries. But if she's directly connected to those, that could work pretty good.
Everybody,
like a roguelike in that big hospital, have the basement, the middle floor, the attic, and it's like you're trying to figure out how to get out. That'd be cool.
Like a roguelike scavenger hunt with Resident Evil gameplay.
That'd be really fun. I'd be into that. That's cool.
The people have been begging for it for years, ever since online became like a legit thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
And everything got ironed out. This was, as Vaughn said, this is PS2 era, so this is when it hit the block. This is before any of that stuff got worked out.
It really could have been a PS3 game. It came out so late in the PS2 life cycle. I'm surprised it didn't. But yeah, it was interesting because each character or each player, if you were in an actual online lobby, had their own job, and you needed to do your job, or else you're screwing everybody else. So, and then if you're like playing with new players, you could like show them what to do, and it was a really community-based thing at the time. It was sweet.
And this was definitely that, like I said, the before times where a lot of the stuff was, you kind of figured it out by playing the game, but this is the time of magazines and like fucking games, what is it, cheat radar or whatever, walkthroughs online and stuff. Whereas like now you can kind of look it up and get an overview of what you're supposed to do, but like certain characters could make certain items by grabbing items that might not, they might be useless to another character, or they might be useful in their base form as another character, but in the hands of another character, you could combine them and make them into stuff. And it was cool, dude.
That's so cool. So that's kind of like when we were playing Night Rain, and I was like, man, I had an idea for a Resident Evil game. That's kind of similar to the idea I was saying.
Yeah.
Hold on one moment.
Yep.
Yeah, because I had that idea of like, what if someone started in the East Wing, someone started in the West Wing? It's a co-op game, and you're trying to, solve the puzzles to then meet up and trade pieces out to each other to then come together. Like, I thought that'd be a cool co-op idea. It's cool to know that that's already maybe kind of been in the works.
It's in the works. It's a whole ass thing,
right? So, would you guys want RE9 to have mercenaries or that? Because that sounds way cooler to me than mercenaries, personally.
I would. Oh, go ahead, Vaughn.
If that was the mini game element that they bring into it, that'd be awesome. Because then they could then additionally add the story DLC that they talked about. I don't want to talk too much about what it could be because we can probably wait till the very end once we get to that. But yeah, if that's the mini game element, then yeah, that'd be super interesting for them to kind of bring back or revitalize.
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest, and it sounds like almost something that would be generally contradictory to what I would want, but I would almost, for the sake of, I feel like longevity, I almost wish they would do something in the vein of Night Rain, where it's like an offshoot thing, but it's got more support. You know what I mean? Like I'd almost, because I feel like if they make it like a mini game for RE9, then it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and then they're probably gonna leave it. Whereas I would like to see it as, Outbreak was. It's like, dude, there's a lot of scenarios you could do. If they drop that bad boy as like a $30-$40 game, I would almost prefer it in that, because then it would incentivize them to keep making content for it. And I feel like that's something that could do really well. I feel like they could keep making content, but if they go into it with the mindset that it's a side mini game off of RE9 and not its own entity, I feel like it significantly decreases the opportunity for it to thrive, which I think it would just be a cool thing to see thrive.
I feel like Resident Evil would fit really well with like a hybrid of the Evil Dead game and Dead by Daylight. If you were to have, the goal is, let's just say you're Grace and you're in the hospital and it's you and I would say maybe like one other person, maybe three, not too many. You're trying to do Resident Evil stuff and solve it. Another player spawns in as the nemesis, the whatever, every once in a while to put that pressure on. But the survivors have a chance to turn into Chris or Leon to fight back, to ward off for that other person. And you're trying to solve the puzzles while he's fighting back and stuff. That'd be sick.
So not the Reverse game that they put out and then didn't do anything.
Too much. Yeah, that's too much.
Closed down.
Yeah.
That was silly. Too much with that.
I don't know. There was something about, my only thing is there's something about, I'd almost want it just to stay a PvE type of thing, just because there's something about the vulnerability of being those people in Outbreak, because, from my recollection, like Ron said, it's tough. It's tough. You're never, you never quite hit that I'm kicking ass stride that you hit in pretty much all the Resident Evil games, with proper ammo conservation and all that. It's like that game, because that game has like melee weapons and stuff as well. So it's like, it's not like traditional Resident Evil where if you're going to get enough ammo, you're pretty much always scrounging for ammo. You're always being conservative with your resources. And most times you're choosing, flight over fight, because you're not Leon, you're not Chris, you're not Jill, you are for all intents and purposes a side character. So it's like, what do you do when you're not the main character, essentially? And
that's fun.
And you don't want to die.
Yeah. I like when games take that approach. Like, you're low-key nobody. I think that's more fun a lot of the times, instead of being like, you're the chosen one.
I mean, they brought Alyssa back, and we all know what happened to her. Or you will soon.
Speaking of, we learn that Grace works for the government now, and they task her with going back to her mother's murder scene, which is the Wrenwood Hotel. So this is where we first gain control of her. We're walking down the street. The game looks amazing, gorgeous, kind of unbelievable that it's in the RE engine, having just played 7 and seeing Mia and the monstrosity that they crafted in that.
That game looked so good when it came out, and then
Oh, yeah.
as the cracks show, you're like, oh my god, you're hideous.
Ooh.
I feel like the character models look bad, but well, really, it's like Mia looks bad. Like the cop didn't look bad when he got stabbed with the shovel, and
Right.
the bakers don't look bad. It's like Mia specifically looks awful. Why does she in particular have like a 12-inch forehead and just the greasiest string bean? It's like there's squares in her hair. Like it's so bad looking.
Right.
So your Grace, you get to that hotel, super creepy, super dark, very very RE7 like in the beginning, and someone or something happens to a police officer, and that sequence, very tense, all up in your face. It automatically switches to first person, which if you haven't seen RE9, they give you the option between first person and third person. Grace kind of defaults to first, and there are various moments where they put you back into first person in specific cutscenes, but on the whole, it gives you the option to choose what you want. What did we think about this opening section with her?
I mean, it's a opening segment in introducing a new character in the RE games. It's just slow, where it's like I can appreciate about, well, I guess 8 kind of did something similar, even though I feel like this opening, I feel like 8's opening maybe a little longer. I don't know. I just, and I get it. You have to do it. You have to introduce the setting, the characters, and all that stuff. But I just felt like it just took forever for me to finally get into participating. But I think it did. I don't know. I think it did a really good job of setting the tone of this one. The almost helplessness of Grace, and obviously, well, as I just discussed, you do hit a Resident Evil stride eventually at some point where you're, I get to a point where you're pretty tough, but for like the beginning of the game, especially when you're low on ammo and resources, it definitely did a good job of setting that horror tone. As I was saying, I didn't feel like the known cast of protagonists where I'm like, I'll kick a zombie square in the teeth. I very much felt helpless and in danger.
At first, I loved the beginning. After I beat it, I don't know if I like it that much. So visually, I think it's amazing, and I love the tone, and I think it's got such a creepy setup where it's like, why is the FBI specifically telling me to go to my mother's murder site? Like, you ain't got nobody else here to go do this
without backup,
with no backup,
where people are dying,
yeah, exactly. And so that setup immediately has me thinking, okay, the FBI's in on it, so I'm getting all the, it's like, it's already got this kind of creepy vibe to it. And then, visually it looks absolutely incredible. You bump into like the little Mr. X guy in the street or whatever. And just the whole sequence of going through the hotel and finding the photos of her on the bed, all that stuff is super creepy. And like, I dug that tone. And then she gets bit. And I'm like, okay, she's not getting infected or anything. So she is special in some way, but I guess we can get into that later. But off rip, I was like, okay, it seems like the government's in on this in some way. It had a really cool setup that I guess we'll talk later, but just like, I feel like just none of it paid off in the end. Like, it was all a bunch of hoopla, every single part of it. But yeah.
Yeah. So, like you said, she gets bit by this dude that turns, that you meet as you go into this hotel, and you see Gideon for the first time here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I do have something to say about that, but go ahead.
No, go for it.
It's kind of weird because as you're doing the part, he's like, meet me here. And he's like, I want to talk. And then he was 100% going to let you get offed by that fucking zombie or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like, he's there, he's present, so he could have, helped me out. But yeah, no, what would have happened if it's just one of those things in stories where I'm like, you really were banking on me not getting offed by this creature that you set loose.
That also, and this just kind of applies to all the creatures, that zombie looks super scary.
Oh, dude.
All up in your face. Yeah.
Super duper scary. Like, their eyes and just the paleness of their face and everything is like, those are the scary. Like, it kind of gave me 28 Weeks Later vibes. Like, they are some scary zombies.
Not to the same level, but it gave me a similar sensation to Dead Space 2 opening, where you're like he's like grabbing her and he's like changing in front of her and she's kind of like stuck, like, oh no.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't think about that.
But Dead Space 2s will always be absolutely legendary. That is, that's a rough one.
What we could have had if they remade that one.
Oh, I didn't post it in the Discord. Dead Space 4 is in development with the OG creators.
Did they finally confirm it?
Yeah.
Oh,
they were working towards that, so I'm glad they finally worked something out. That's exciting.
Yeah, that is very exciting.
New underwear.
Yeah, but with I do overall, minus the story inconsistencies and blah 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 whatever. Because once again, as a default, I'm not going into Resident Evil for the story. Personally, I do enjoy it. I do think this one gets like completely incoherent personally to a point where I'm like, okay, now you're kind of pissing me off. But for a mood and the visual and the zombie and all that, like on just a base level, it's super cool. I loved it. I did really dig it. Creepy vibe. Nailed it.
Something we didn't bring up, they're investigating some sort of infection or marking that's appearing on bodies as well. So that is something to keep in mind.
And I believe they state, like, it is, I know there's like the one that you run into in the hotel, but I believe it is stated that they're all previous Raccoon City survivors. So people that have already been previously exposed to the T virus. I don't think any G virus. I think the G virus was just William Birkin. Yeah. So
at the end of Grace's segment, after she gets bit, Gideon seemingly captures her. And then we move to the man himself. Leon S. Kennedy shows up. And he's driving a Porsche that you can buy if you're interested, because they made a point of that in the reveal. He is talking with Sherry, who is now also working in the old government. They're tracking someone, which we find out is Gideon, and he unleashes hell on this city. Leon sees him carrying Grace out of the Renwood Hotel, and that triggers Leon into fight mode because Gideon's shooting, I'd assume, little needles, darts or something at people and infecting them, and they are going nuts. This segment was bonkers. Something I didn't think this engine could do, like cars crashing, crowds running at you, you pushing through them. And we were introduced to the new combat system. Brandon, what do you think of Leon's combat? In this segment,
it's really cool. I think that whole scene's awesome. it just has such a. The game has mojo. It really does. Like, just as a whole, it has an energy and a confidence to it that I don't know if any of the other Resident Evils really are carrying to this degree, where it's just Leon pulling up in the Porsche with his watch and his $200 Versace gloves, and hey, I'm on the scene, and like the music's playing, and just the whole thing is so like it's building up his, who you're here for kind of thing, and I definitely dig that. And I think Gideon's whole little intro right there is awesome. Like, just the balls to just be walking down the street with her over your shoulder.
I was going to say, that's almost like a social commentary, because that dude is walking and nobody says anything except for like one lady.
And
it's like
gets done dirty.
And that dude is huge. Like, he is not a normal sized man. Like, that dude is by close to 7 feet tall.
And he's wearing like
a
Sam
gator
Fisher night goggles.
Yeah, everything about him screams like comic book villain. And he's carrying what appears to be a corpse as he's strutting out of a dark alleyway, and nobody says a word to him except for one person.
His section there with the combat was really cool. I think I didn't have a grasp on it really because I was still trying to, I guess, kind of move and do things from RE4 because I was just kind of fresh off of RE4, and he's not as like with his playstyle. You're supposed to be like walk them down energy, and when you play like that, it flows way better. So I did kind of mess up my flow, but it didn't really matter because the scene was just so cool. Like throwing pipes at zombies and the cars are crashing, and I got a couple accidental counters where I shot him, so it was just like it was cool regardless.
You can parry a car.
Can you really?
Yeah. If you go far enough up where the cars start crashing, you can get hit by one, and you can fucking parry a car. I'm like,
does it do a crazy animation, or is he just like?
I think it's just the basic like. Ching.
Yeah, that makes sense. Car's nothing special, nothing worth doing anything special for Leon.
Porsche.
I dug that scene a lot, and it was also just the first of many blue balls with Leon scenes where I'm like,
oh yeah.
So they introduce the Requiem gun, which is a super-powered Magnum-esque type gun. Leon also has a dedicated melee weapon, like a hatchet, that you never lose. It does lose durability, so you have to sharpen it. That's your main counter item. So you're countering everything, you're parrying things, you're swinging around like a crazy man, and looking cool doing it every single time. But yeah, I agree. This section felt really good, especially right after the Grace section, where you're just assuming that's going to be another like RE2 style collectathon. Very basic movement and animation. The stab with a knife. No, you are hacking things away.
Oh yeah.
What's funny?
It picks up speed though. Like Brandon was saying, if you play Leon, essentially how it feels like they're designed to play, like it flows really good into just kill after kill after kill. You're killing, running up, shooting a guy, kicking him, picking up his axe, throwing it at another guy, walking over, finishing that guy off, turning on your heel, parrying another guy, shooting him in the side of the head, kicking him in the truck, smashing his head in. It's like you really are just steadily making your way through the crowd of people, just cutting through them.
Yeah. That seems also cool too, because there's so much chaos going on that you're trying to figure out who is a zombie and who isn't, which is cool because it's dark, it's in the rain, everybody's wearing black. It's like, oh god, what's happening?
Yeah, there's zombies grabbing people, so you're trying to figure out which one to shoot.
Yeah, it's a cool scene.
Okay, after this scene, we move back to Grace at the Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center. And she is strapped to a gurney, upside down, and again, graphics look crazy. Blood rushing to her head, her face is red, sweat, the neck veins, bonkers. She gets out of it, and we're introduced to a disgusting abomination of a creature. Giant, weird woman. This segment's really cool in terms of how they introduce her. because you're walking around a completely dark, almost old folks' home style building, and you open a door and a dead body falls at you, and then you're like freaking out, and then you see this disgusting hand grab this body, and she's all up in your face and just bites the head right off of this body. And cue the Resident Evil stalker enemy. At first, I was totally okay with this, and then as it continued to go on, I realized this is Resident Evil again, and I'm kind of tired of this stalker-esque trope that they tend to always do. Mr. X, this character, it's just there are different ways to scare me, and this particular one is getting old.
Yeah. And especially this one. I don't know. Like I thought the design was great. She clenches up the sphincter when she's on screen. I'll give her that. But it slows everything to a crawl for me a lot of times, and especially once you especially in that beginning part where it was set to like certain movement patterns. Like it didn't feel like it was active, like an active thinking agent, or it didn't feel reactive. It felt like it was doing something preset. I mean, just in that beginning part. I feel like after that there's a little bit of randomization to it, but very early on I could see the scripting of what that thing was going to do and what it was essentially being told to do. And it I don't know, at that point it just became like tedium dealing with that.
So this stalker enemy is not just continuously searching for you. They introduced a light element. She can't be in light, burns her skin, so that's how you avoid her. So you're running into rooms, turning lights on, avoiding her that way. But that is kind of half-baked. They don't really have you doing that actively too much in these segments. Later on in the game, they do change that up, but at least in this chapter, they're kind of scripting it for you. Lights are on. You can turn one light on, but they automatically turn off, so it's pretty much useless.
Did they ever? I don't remember if they did. Did they ever give like any even, in-game scientific reason as to why that is, or did they just go, "We did experiments, and now she doesn't like the light"? Like, give me some umbrella mumbo jumbo. Tell me you were trying to make somebody's skin photosensitive so they didn't require food or anything to draw energy in, and it fucked up the photoreceptors in their skin, and now they burn in the light. You know what I mean? Just something like.
I'd have to look at the collectibles to see if they give any explanation, but I don't remember them saying anything about it.
Right.
This creature as a whole is like indicative of the entire game to me. Its presentation is 10 out of 10, but it is shallow as a puddle. Nice. I feel like that is the game as a whole. It's got mojo. It's got incredible pacing. Like, exactly what you're saying. That monster comes in, but it's scripted. It was scary the moment I realized the situation I was in, and then I was like, oh, she just goes like this.
Yeah, she's literally just...
And it's over with. Whereas Mr. X had he was dynamic. You'd be doing your puzzle thing, and then you just hear boom, boom, boom. So there's always this constant pressure if you really don't know where he's at. You hear him on the floor above you. You hear him, that stuff is really cool. Right. With her, it's that scene, and then, the later basement scene. But even then, by that point, I mean, I guess we can get to that, but even by that point, every time she pulled up, I just shot her in the face with the Requiem and bye. I didn't even run from her. Never once. I shot her, get back up in that hole, and I went back to doing what I was doing.
I had Molotov cocktails. So
yeah, same thing, and I would throw those too. Like, get out of here. Yeah, once we get to I'll elaborate once we get further in.
Yeah, and because I have thoughts on that specific scripting of how she operates when we get to that point too.
So she's trying to escape. You get a fuse, like complete Resident Evil style, trying to open a gate. You get the fuse, put it in there. Then it switches to Leon again, and he also reaches the care center, and we're given another super cool combat scene. We're introduced with a new chainsaw mechanic where zombies can have a chainsaw, and then you kill them or knock it out of their hands, and then you use it them yourself, and it's pretty much an auto kill for 3 to 5 zombies depending on how you do it. I really liked the chainsaw. I didn't like when it was on the ground spinning like a madman.
In fact, it happened every time.
Right. I don't know if there's a way to stop that. I didn't try to shoot it or anything because I didn't want to waste ammo. I literally just waited until it stopped spinning and then grabbed it. Did you guys find a way to grab it other than waiting?
I was in the same boat as you, where it was like it wasn't worth the wasting the ammunition on it, but it was like every time it drops, it's going to go do this spin out thing for 10, 15 seconds, which it's not the worst thing in the world, but I wish, because like especially when you're using the chainsaw, there is like a ramming one that he does. Like it happens randomly, and he'll just shove the chainsaw. No way to really mitigate it. He'll just impale a zombie with a chainsaw, and then you lose the chainsaw until you shoot the zombie enough, and then the zombie falls, or you shoot the chainsaw in the zombie, and then the chainsaw falls out, and you start the process over again. But yeah, it's like it forces me to give up the chainsaw so I could then have them drop the chainsaw so I can then do that over again. And then obviously the whole time I managed to avoid getting killed by the chainsaw for the whole game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like it wasn't like man, it made it so much pointless, needlessly hard or anything like that, because it didn't really increase the difficulty level for me. But it was just one of those things where it's like I would like to be able to choose whether or not to do that. I don't really know what the benefit would be in doing such a thing. Like maybe if you had a move set that it was like impale them and then rush forward, kind of using them as like a bull rush to push through zombies, and then like you knock them over. It's like you lose the chainsaw, but you get yourself some breathing room, something like that.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was kind of weird. But I mean, like I said, not the end of the world, but it was kind of irritating when I'm in a flow. Wow, wow, wow. And then Leon's like, here, take the weapon. Have it. Like, why the hell? Why would you do that? Why are we?
I know Brandon brought it up a little bit, but I would also like to reiterate my statement or my feelings on a lot of this. It's very half-baked. Some really, really cool ideas are introduced, and they tease you with potential, and then they completely drop the ball, and it really doesn't go anywhere. And they sometimes do the same thing again later in the game, and again don't evolve these mechanics past what you'd expect you could do with them. But again, we'll surmise it at the very end. But I just want to make that up.
No, I was literally going to say the same thing. Was just cool presentation, shallow as a puddle. It's just that keeps being the recurring theme to me with this game. I do want to go back to the monster thing real quick. I did think it was cool that there's like the dead zombie and you're expecting to get like the Resident Evil face reveal, but it eats the head. I thought that was kind of cool. But outside of that, that hospital scene was cool. I wasn't flowing with the combat at the time, so it was kind of janky, and I was like, and then the chainsaw thing, exactly what you're saying, where I was like, okay, and then the scenes are so short that it was like I'm not getting a chance to actually catch a rhythm because you're pulling me away so quick. So it was cool, though. It was cool. Leon had horrific reaction time letting that nurse get dogged. I don't know what his deal was with that. Like,
he was standing there with a chainsaw right behind her. Leon S. Never again Kennedy, because he loves
what happened,
never again. And he just let that lady get. Except for that time, that lady got smoked, dude.
I do like this section. It's a throwback to RE1 where it slowly zooms in on the door and then it opens. That's a nice throwback to the.
I didn't even notice that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a very specifically long amount of time that they focus on this door, and it just slowly zooms in. I'm like, I see what you did there.
I'll have to pay attention to that next time.
Yeah, this Leon section is a common trend, very short. And once you finish this enemy closet, he continues his search for Victor, or Gideon, as we've referenced, and you encounter Grace at the same moment she's trying to get the gate open, and Leon gives her probably the biggest gun she's ever seen in her life, and
the biggest gun anybody's fucking ever seen in their life, with the exception of Jill.
Yeah, that gun is insane. I don't know how she picked that son of a bitch up.
Cracked the concrete under herself. Like, I should have folded her like a lawn chair.
Charging key and breaking the ground around her. Like, you should be dead.
Just smash you immediately.
So he gives her the gun, and Gideon is watching them and triggers the gate to shut again and switches back to Grace. So now we're in the care center proper, and we're looking for pieces to a door again. Very Resident Evil-esque. But like we said, I would have liked this section to be more puzzle heavy. It was very surface level. These door gems were just in various locations with the most bare bones puzzle. Grab a pencil, sketch in a book, tells you exactly what you need to do, and then
that was one of those ones where I was like, why even bother to do this? Like, you gave me the pencil directly next to the book, and then
same room.
They wouldn't even let you. It was fail proof. They wouldn't even let me put the notebook down until I finished the sketching. So it was like, you literally like, you're going to stay here until you get it, which is not really much to get. Just wiggle the joystick back and forth. Like, okay.
Yep. So you find that one. The second one is in Gideon's office. It's locked, so you have to find a dissolving agent. You were introduced to a new giant enemy, Junk.
Thickums. Yeah.
It's a disgusting, like, oversized baby-esque creature. Just can barely fit through hallways, can't fit through doors. He's clambering to get in there, like a fat kid with cake. And you can either kill him, inject him with
3 of the hemolytic agents. Hemolytic.
Yeah. So as Grace, you get this injector where you're absorbing the blood from these creatures and using it against them. It's an instant kill from behind. They blow up. This game is super gory, super cool looking.
They do a really good job with that, where everything is just painted.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Giant water balloon.
Super cool.
Yeah, they do the whole Blade 1, like, Bulbasaur, like, puff up and then...
Which is, it's useful for later things. You're also able to use them on previously killed enemies, hint, hint, for later gameplay reasons. So, cool little mechanic. They never really explain, and you use the blood as well for other crafting, bullets and stuff. They never really explain how she's crafting bullets out of blood. It is concerning, to say the least. But yeah.
This I will say, with Chunk and with the creepy thing that's chasing you early in the game, the animations on those things.
The girl.
Yeah, the girl.
Her official name.
Okay. Those animations are immaculate. Like, the way those things move, especially Chunk through, like, the hallway, bit and stuff. Like, dude, that looks so good. This, like, section of the game, I was in love with until I wasn't. It's like, I was in love with it at first because it just has such a cool momentum where, like, it's like the cook. And you're like, oh, man. And I don't know how you guys did it. I didn't know that you could push the cart to get by him. So,
really?
Yeah, I just shot him right in the side of the face and just let him get out of there. And then I just ran past him. And he chased me through. Oh, sorry, you're going to say something.
I didn't learn about the cart until my second playthrough.
Yeah.
When you first enter the kitchen, it, like, you know how it wraps around where he's at the
Yeah.
chopping block. Right before you wrap around, there's a cart that you can push. That of course is very, very slow. So you kind of have to push it and then back off, push it, back off, so you can get through if you don't want to be noticed.
Which in our gross gameplay methodology, I already have it planned out or figured out. He doesn't look back after he grabs something out of that thing one time. Once he does it, it's like one time for like a, you know, game purposes, but it's like he'll go over there and then he'll do it and he'll be like, not enough. And then he goes and sticks his hand into that pot. He won't turn back around. You can push the cart all the way through. So you don't even gotta, you don't have to. I found that out. It's like, oh, he's just not gonna do that again. And then
he's useless.
Yeah, and that's you know, not to. It's really not a dig on it. I get there's only so much you can do, but it's like that was another thing, kind of in the same vein that I realized later with the stalker enemy, where there's animations that happen. But it like we've kind of been saying, you know, certain elements are very shallow. Like the animations aren't real. So like they move, and this really isn't any kind of, you know, spoiler for stuff that comes ahead. Like with the stalker enemy, when she does this whole thing, she'll stop and like look left and right. Her field of vision isn't changing. It's not changing. So she's looking left and right, but her cone of vision is still forward. It's still just right there. Same with the chef. That's why I found it with the cart thing. I was like, he's doing this whole thing like, ugh. He's not. His field of vision is clearly still facing forward.
Yeah.
So you can just push that cart and finish that segment, and it's you know, and then obviously it's one of those things that comes with, especially playing the way that we play, where it's like I'm honestly kind of trying to figure out how the game is operating and what it's thinking. So, you know, once I figured things like that out, you can kind of see it on different enemies, how that works, where it's like, okay, it's showing an animation that appears as though the enemy's searching the area, but they're not really searching the area. Like they're essentially if their whole body isn't facing that way, they're not really going to notice you.
I just killed him. I didn't even.
Oh no, I gave him I snuck past him the one time. And then when I came back the next time, I busted out the Requiem on him.
Because he'll start roaming the hallways further in this segment that you get. So you can either sneak by him there or just give him a couple pops and he's done.
It's when you open the room with the antique coins. He starts roaming around, and I was like, "Yep, we're not doing this." At that point, because I just walked past him and left him in the kitchen. I'm like, I'll come back for you later. You know, I'll probably end up killing you later. And then he started doing that roaming around the hallway shit. I was like, nope, we're not doing this. I'm smoking your ass right now. I had to pull out the big iron on him. Big iron.
Because when you're going through there, and it's like, okay, now because I shot him, he started chasing me. So I go, and then you bust open the door. Now you're in the dinner room. It's like, oh, there's zombies. And then you turn, and I kept running. And now I'm in there and the girl is singing. I was like, oh my God. So I went this way, and then I'm hiding for a second, trying to like map out of my mind everything that I saw. And then it loops back around into the main room. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then, like you guys are saying, those puzzles are so shallow that it was like, okay, you know, cool. In retrospect, like, it's definitely no RE1, RE2 where you're really, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
As I say, like, the baby just started screaming. The problem really started to rear its head much later when I was thinking back. Like, you have the singer girl, right? And there's two of them. And then you have the guy who doesn't like noise. And then you have the bloater characters in Leon's part that's going to turn everybody into blister heads. And then you have... there's the zombie who doesn't like the lights. You have all these characters that almost seem like they're supposed to interact in some way and never do.
And the maid that cleans up blood on the floor. The maid's always
clean. Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, she could be cleaning up the blood you're collecting.
Because if you're listening, she's just like, it's dirty. It's so dirty. Yeah.
And then you take that, and there's the stalker that doesn't like the light, and yet there's light switches all throughout this map, and it's like so what was the point of any of this? Was just to be a quick little set piece? Because, like, after that set piece is done and the shock is gone, I'm still just killing zombies, and it's like, okay,
they never really do anything with that again.
Right. Never. And I was kind of critical on that from the beginning because I had hoped that they would do more with the zombies in that concept in general.
Same.
Because and it's, I guess, I don't want to be spoilers, but I guess technically this can happen at any point, and Brandon already kind of mentioned it. Like, there's this game's version of essentially the Crimson Heads, the blister heads. You maintain in an area for long enough, unless you're Leon, because even that goes out the window in the Leon parts. It's clearly that they're scripted to, some of them are going to turn into blister heads. It's scripted to do so. It's like, I was hoping for mutations, because they made a point of bringing up that the different zombies and stuff within the care center are going to be doing stuff in relation to their past. And like the only one that seemed to really do anything
relevant
was the singer. Yeah. So I was hoping that they would be, mutations that would, essentially some kind of neurological link between the zombie and their mutations. Yeah. And so that would have them do different things where, only she was the only one that did anything special. Everybody else, like the chef, was just a big dude. He was just a big dude.
Same with Chunk, really.
Yeah, same with Chunk. Chunk got super fat and took up the hallway, which even that's something.
Yeah.
That's something, but nobody else did anything. The doctors didn't do anything special. Like, sometimes they had knives or saws, but that was it. But you would think, there's a million, and that's the thing. There's a million things I can name off the top of my head that would be like mutation specific stuff, like having it so maybe the guys that don't like noise would mutate and they're hypersensitive to sound. So now, instead of just kind of, you have to really creep along around them and stuff like that. I could, there's a lot of things I could name.
Yeah, it would have been cool, like a blister head that turned from someone that didn't like light is running through the halls, turning the lights off. So then it completely changes you roaming around and sneaking around now. Right. I agree. I expected more from these specialized zombies that they brought up in that gameplay.
Right. And it was more of a, like Brandon said, it's more of like a set piece type of thing. You hear them saying things, and it sets the tone of like, oh yeah, this lady was a janitor, and this guy was a lights specialist or whatever. I don't know. But it kind of set that tone, but it didn't actually do anything of substance with any of it.
Yeah. We forgot to bring up that you encounter a little girl in a glass jail in one of the offices named Emily. And because it's a small child, everyone befriends and wants to help them. So Grace is doing that exact thing. She is blind. So the third gem needed for the door is, of course, in a contraption that doesn't have symbols on it and only has Braille. So you know what you need to do. You need to carry her to that, and she does the whole thing of she's figuring it out and you're trying to protect her. This segment was super easy, even on insanity mode. I literally just stood by the door, pulled out the biggest gun known to man, and waited for them to come to me. And no issue.
Yeah. Just to mention, just because we had brought up the puzzle things a couple times, the only good puzzle, in my opinion, in that game, or decent puzzle, I wouldn't even say it is up to, like, which I get Ari's kind of faded away from this to an extent, but the only decent one was the puzzle in Gideon's office, where you're using the photos and like they're taking pictures in front of it and you have to find the multiple photos and it shows the code on there. But that being said, I fucked that code up a couple times and it did nothing. So there's absolutely no reason Grace couldn't. She knew she knew the combination, so she could have just pushed the buttons and saw which one lit up, and then figured that out on her own. There was no need for her to learn to read Braille or get the little girl that could read Braille. She could have just figured it out after 2, maybe 3 trial and error times. Been like, okay, this one's star, this one's sun, this one's moon. Boop, boop, boop. Like, this is, this is a little contrived. I don't think you need to do all this, Grace.
Yeah,
But do you?
I do. Yeah. It just, it's weird, man, because even, once again, it's just 10 out of 10 presentation, but shallow as a puddle. Like, even applying that to the story, I love the direction of the cutscenes. I love the way they're directed. I love the way they're presented. I love the art direction. It's probably like it's art direction wise, not even just graphics, like especially the later stuff looks sick, super sick. But it's like, I can't think of a movie to compare it to, but it's almost like it's happening so quick, and what's happening is so cool looking and entertaining. It's like, what's that movie called? Sucker Punch. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, there's
this
just
looks
so much
sick, but you're like, wait, what is even happening in this?
Yeah.
This is like, that's what this game reminds me of.
I do want to point out though, real quick, and it kind of just gave me a chuckle. When you go to the office and you use the corrosive acid and you open the thing and you run into Gideon, Grace fucking puts a chair in front of the door to keep him in there. And for me, it got a chuckle out of me because she's so naive, because it's like, Grace, he's there's something going on with him, girl. That's
he's not normal.
Yeah, putting a chair to jam the door is fucking comical. Like, especially considering he like one-handed chokes you to sleep twice. Well, he chokes Leon the one time and her the other time. It's like, if he was a regular, damn near 8-foot man, that wouldn't work. That would still be an ineffective method of keeping him in that room. Like, you need to run.
Speaking of, we forgot to bring up that in the previous segment with Leon, Gideon does capture him and literally pick him up by the neck with one hand and choke him out.
And also important to leave out, I know we're kind of jumping around, but just shooting off the cuff, having fun with it. Leon blows the girl's head clean off with the Requiem. Blows her head straight off.
Seemingly dead at this point in the story.
Seemingly dead. And I think we gave it away there, but
so Emily unlocks the final puzzle to get the gem. Surprise, surprise, the girl isn't dead. And
she Kool-Aid mans through the wall at you.
Mr. X's it and grabs Emily, and they escape into the basement. And that cues the segment with Leon, where Leon is tied up in a chair and being interrogated by Gideon, who has the worst breath known to man. And
his teeth are like rancid yellow.
He's got a snake ring as well.
He's got snake skin jacket.
Do you mind if we go back real quick to the last part?
I won't do it.
Before coming into this Leon part, I killed every single zombie except Chunks and got all the upgrades possible. And it kind of made this Leon part disappointing for me in retrospect, because I was like, oh, maybe, at the time, because I'm still not knowing what's going on. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there that I cleaned up shop.
I also killed probably 98% of the things there, including Chunk. So after the Gideon interrogation, Leon, of course, escapes, quips and all. You fight a Chunk in an attic. You beat the dog shit out of him, and you proceed onward. And you're in the facility that Grace was in, the exact same one. And depending on what you did with Grace, you'll either deal with zombies or not deal with them. And
that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
No setup like some of the other games, and I get it; those are full playthroughs. But it would have been cool with them with the callbacks that they do make in this game, had they done a little more transitional stuff. At least that's what I think. You know,
Leon somehow finds and knows that there's a secret elevator in this office. So
immediately, he's so in tune to Umbrella's bullshit. He's just like, that's an elevator, clearly.
So you initiate the elevator door. It's super slow. You fight some zombies, some blister heads, which to Leon means nothing.
They're super dangerous, super deadly with Grace, but Leon, it's like I was whooping their ass. Just straight up kicking the piss out of them.
Yeah.
Not to mention the axe gets how you have the hemolytic injector, which uses resources and is a one-hit kill. Leon's hatchet, if you sneak up behind them, you can also sneak up behind them with Leon, one-hit kill them with a hatchet, and the hatchet has, as long as you continue to sharpen it, has infinite durability. And even if you run out of durability, it doesn't like break. You can't use it, but once you sharpen it again, it goes right back to being usable. So, not that I'm complaining about it. The Leon parts are obviously meant to feel like a power trip, which that's why when you go back to being Grace, you feel so deflated because you're like, I went from being an unstoppable force of nature to being Grace again. But yeah, that it trivialized so much of the stuff. Well, just being Leon trivialized everything because he's
Leon. I don't really get the point of the sharpening mechanic. I feel like it's like, who cares? Like, why is this here? Like, I'm killing everything. So does it? Like, I don't know. It's shing shing.
The only time, the only time,
like,
I don't think you can't parry with it when it's
broken. No, that's what I'm saying. It's broken, but it literally is. You don't have to like repair it with anything. You just have to sharpen it again. So it's like if you let the durability go to 0, you don't have to find like repair kits or take it somewhere and spend resources to repair it. You can just sharpen it right on the spot. So it really doesn't stop you. And the sharpening animation is the same length of time, even if it's broken compared to a partial fixing of it.
It's a heat of the moment type of animation where it's to get you to like calculate if you're going to have enough time to repair it and whatnot.
It becomes important on boss fights. Yeah. Like it did come into play on the tyrant fight for me, but it's like in the heat of the battle. Shit.
There's a tyrant
in the spoiler cast.
Shit.
I'm sorry. But
Grace is Barry.
Grace is Barry. Just takes the mask off like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. But it came in handy on multiple boss fights. But like with regular enemies, if I got to that point where it broke, I just whipped out the shotgun. I was like, all right, well, it looks like I need to get some space. And howdy, partner. Bam! Bam!
Dude. Yeah, and that's also like, so when you first start that part with Leon, they give you like a weapon attachment. And that was the first time that's like, okay, you have an inventory and there's space that's like, it's like, oh, you gave me a big inventory and you gave me a weapon attachment. I'm like, clearly there's going to be a progression system here that I'm going to involve myself in. And that's what me and Vaughn were kind of talking code on the last couple podcasts where I'm like, if it does this, it's going to be goated. It did not do that. It did not do what I wanted it to do.
I ended up running out of inventory space.
There is.
It just doesn't. It didn't even matter because I mean, if whenever you guys want to get into the Leon combat, I have gripes.
Let's never talk about it.
We can speed through some of these chapters. There is a weapon progression system. It's very bare bones compared to RE4. Each gun has specific upgrades that you're using these Fortnite bucks that you're earning as you're killing things, and that's how you're upgrading these weapons.
So I say we
skipped a lot, but
yeah, let's work our way up to there because that part was jarring, kind of to me, especially.
Yeah, we can. I didn't mean to skip it ahead.
No, that's fine. But it's like I took specific. I don't know if issue is the word, but like I said, tonally, I took like kind of it gave me pause when you got to that point with Leon, and I was like, "What the fuck are we doing here? What is this?" Like,
to go back to the chunks part, you get your weapon attachment. It shows the inventory. I'm like, sick. Let's do this. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, am I about to go down into the hospital and everybody's going to be dead? Because I know previously I just killed everybody as Grace. So I get there, and now I've had 3 Leon sections in a row where I don't get to really play as Leon because the sections are so quick. And then the third one, I'm like, oh, well, the secret door is over here. And then I just shotgunned all those dudes to death. So I didn't get to do any melee. I didn't have to parry. I didn't have to do none of that. And then that scene's over. And I'm like, okay, here we go again. And then
I just ran through and pried open all the doors you needed Leon to pry open.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I think I killed the blister heads because I didn't know if we were going to come back.
Crazy. And what's even worse is I pry open one of the things, and it's like, the cook has the key. I'm like, I know the cook has the key because I offed him 4 hours ago with Grace and got into that place. So I'm like, it's like you weren't expecting me to kill all of them, but I left Grace a section with 1,000 bullets, juice to the gills, heals out the wazoo. Her inventory was stocked. I had, and I played on Classic, so I was using ink ribbons. Dude, I had like 15 ink ribbons. I was not stressed at all. Because you can craft them in this one. So it's like,
I played on modern, so I haven't had to deal, but it's not to be like, oh man, it's not like how I'm used to playing, but it's like, I consider myself a veteran of the Resident Evil series. And so, not that I'm like, it's if Brandon can do it, but it's like, if anybody can have a bunch of ammo, like it's like, if you don't have to focus on ammo conservation, like if it's not you specifically.
To your point,
I've seen other people say this. It's like, go ahead.
To your point, I overdo it on ammo. I don't conserve ammo, so that is to your point. Like, I shoot too much. Like, you watch my RE4, I pull out shotguns for one guy.
Because you even said it while I was playing. You're like, you let people have it. Where it's like, I was shooting zombies like twice and then knifing the shit out of them. I was going. I had a system where I would knife them until my knife got to like almost broken, and then I would go into the crafting and then turn the knife into scrap, so I could get another piece of scrap and craft another knife. And then just keep up always having a knife so I could maximize ammo conservation. So it's like, you didn't even have to play like that, and you still had an abundance of ammunition. So it's like, what is kind of the point in me playing in that way, where it's like, I don't know, it's, if you want me to feel helpless and you want me to worry about item consumption, ammo conservation, healing item conservation, but you essentially give it to me in abundance. And you could always say pick a higher difficulty, but I mean, I'm always a proponent of my first playthrough. It quite literally says recommended. It's how the game essentially the intended difficulty of the game. It's like, so this is, for all intents and purposes, the intended experience. And I went from, it's exactly what you're saying. By the time I left that initial Grace part, I didn't bother with health. I just maxed out the stability. I just crafted a bunch of those stability things. So I was 2 shots. Well, 1 shot to the head had zombies in the woozy mode, and then I would knock them over. And then, even then, like by the end of the game, I stopped using the knife because it was like 1 shot stunned them. I'd push them over. They'd fall down. I'd shoot them twice in the head. They were dead. 3 shots every time consistent, which is fine. I've made complaints about the newer RE games and the lack of consistency with damage and, to the head. But it's like, this one really gamified it. I could consistently do that. I knew for a fact, if I landed this shot, I could do this in motion, whereas like the newer ones, or the older ones, I guess, technically, I had to kind of wait. I had to make sure that the shots had the intended effect because it wasn't guaranteed. This one, it's like, run, run, run. I shoot, boom, hit my shot. I'm already moving forward to commence the melee because I know for a fact that worked. I know for a fact that took the effect that I was intended, and I could
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? It's like it was like a combo. It's like before I had to, before I had to confirm it. I had to confirm that the combo worked or that I could initiate the next phase. Now it's like it was like a hit confirm in a fighting game. It was boom. Now I know I can hit him with boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Next guy, boom. Now I know I can hit him with boom, 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 and just keep the whole way down.
Which sucks because like the feel of this game is amazing. It feel like, especially Grace's part is such a step up from 7 and 8 in the first person aspect. Like I would love to have how it feels here with like Resident Evil 8 enemies, with that variety, with like the different types of lichens, the different types of bosses, the way that they're climbing on rooftops and doing all this crazy stuff. And there's so much more, like it's way more dynamic. Some have crossbows, some have this, blah, blah, which I know that's going for more of a Resident Evil 4 kind of vibe. But that's kind of what's throwing me off, is that it feels so good and doing all the things he's saying where it's hit confirms and all this, but there's 10 zombies total in this area. So like, what are we doing? It's like, by the time you do figure it out, the minute it clicked how to kill these things, I literally mopped the whole place up in a matter of like 15 minutes. Cause I was like, oh, I get it now. You're dead.
And the true issue with it is, it's like I said, it's not like an elitist difficulty thing. It eliminates the point of leaving them alive.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you eliminate the need for ammo conservation and resource conservation, there's no point in me leaving them alive, because it just makes my life harder. It's not like, well, I'll just have to avoid them, but then I could save some rounds and I could save this and I could save that. And then I could just come through with Leon. And, that's where I'm going to essentially get my get back. But it's, for the time being, it's worth it for me. It's like, no, it's worth it for me to kill them now, because then I could get all these extra resources that I would miss out on if I didn't kill them. And it's no issue for me to kill them. So I may as well do it. There's no risk in reward. It's exclusively reward for killing them all. And it's honestly just a bigger risk to you to try to run past them. It's like, why would I? I'll just fucking kill them.
And to top it off, you never come back there.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no point whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, we are now in the basement as Grace, following the girl and Emily. You find out that the girl is collecting dolls and seemingly views Emily as a doll. And you find out that this is almost like a blood body farm down here, like a power plant combination. To get out, you find a panel that needs like 3 batteries. I did enjoy this section in the sense of like a puzzle room, because it required you to navigate and plan where you're putting these batteries into to open specific doors to get the items that you need. The girl's chasing you, of course. You're putting the battery in the panel. It lights up, wards her off. You can do what you need to do. I'm going to combine like this segment and the next segment, just so we can get further through this. But you find the 3, and you grab Emily, and you run to the elevator to get back up to the care center. Tense moment, kind of not, because you just hold forward and you get to the elevator and button mash a couple times and you're safe. You're carrying Emily. You head out through the front door with the final gem, and you encounter a super useless character.
The helicopter guy.
Helicopter guy. Yeah.
Harry.
Super sweet, super like genuine. He's like, I need the helicopter key. I'll watch Emily while you go get it, of course. He has his leg's injured, so he can't really protect himself or really anything. So he's going to stay at the helicopter with Emily, and then you're going to go do some crazy shit. What would you like to say about this segment? Go for it.
So the basement is probably my favorite part of the game.
Basement's fun.
I'm not going to lie. I do dig that part a lot. I think it's creepy, it's tense, it's disturbing with like the body farm thing that they're doing.
The conveyor belt section of the grinders.
They're always up to new horrors beyond imagination. I will give them that. They are just always up to some diabolical shit. You just think that Umbrella has reached their peak, and they're just like, yeah, we have a body grinder down here. A specific body grinder. This isn't a device. This device has no other conceivable purpose that I could possibly fathom besides specifically being made to grind corpses up. Like, you guys are fucking evil, dude.
That conveyor belt fight, that was pretty cool. Like, the animations of them getting sucked in looked amazing. And I don't know why. I kind of dig puzzles like that where it's like, I had to put it here to go around here to get this, pull it back out, and now it's dark, so I know she's about to come in. Doesn't matter. Requiem. Bow! Get your back up in that hole. And then, continue on. But
God. As I said, this is where I actually started to. This is where the girls' programming stuff kind of started. I started taking issue with because it really showed. I hate to say the word laziness because I am having flashbacks to Battlefield, and I'm like, I really did enjoy this game. I did, I swear to God. But
yeah, I did too. I did too. For what it's worth,
you can hear her preemptively running in the ceiling to where you're at, and there is no in-game explanation as to why she knows where you're at within that place. She's not stalking you in the traditional sense where if you make too much noise, she will come to you. So like if you shoot a gun, she'll immediately go to where you're at and jump out of the vent instantly. But she is always where you're at. She's waiting for you. Like I put the meat grinder part, right? You have to put the one in that room with the forklift or whatever that you move. When you go to get that back, you can hear her run from wherever she's at to there and wait for you to pull that. She has no reason to know I'm there. She has no conceivable explanation as to why it's literally like, okay, we want her to fall down and scare them when it gets dark. So have her positioned wherever they are when they're preparing to pull it, have her positioned there.
Dude, if you could crawl on the ceiling and someone was trying to take your doll, don't you think you would track them pretty tightly?
No.
I wouldn't develop X-ray goddamn vision. That's my thing where it's like, yeah, if I'm making noise or something and she's tracking me down, that makes sense. If I'm doing something or if she's just like randomly in an area, but it's like she just knows. She can sense my intent to pull the power in this area. It's like,
That's funny that you say that because I basically had her on a timer where I was like, okay, shoot you, go up. I'm going to do what I need to do, get to the next area, put the thing in. I know you're about to hop down, shoot you again, you go back up. I run, I put the next key in.
At this point, at that point, I wasn't treating her like, the threat that she was initially. But even it was literally just me hearing her following me, knowing where I'm at without any really conceivable way of knowing. Because that's the thing, like we brought up with the Mr. X. Mr. X is roaming, actively roaming.
Right.
So he could see you. And then obviously if you make noise, that's how he could definitely lock on and locate you. So you're trying to figure out, is it worth, killing the zombie, or would it be better in my better interest to run around them, to avoid Mr. X locking in on my location and fucking coming jumping through the door at me. But she just knew.
Yeah.
They just made it so she simply knew where you were at times that were convenient for her to know where you were at, to make sure that, she would be there when you tried to progress. Not to mention the ridiculous, the ridiculous trophy they have. This is trophy stuff, so it is what it is. But the final puzzle shit that they did with you have to stand at the meat grinder for 15 minutes.
There's no trophy tied to that, probably.
Oh, no, there's not? No. Yes, there is. I thought it says the final puzzle. Is that not the final puzzle? Is that just a challenge?
That's just a challenge.
Oh, then I don't give a shit about that.
15 minutes is way too long.
It's also so meaningless and dumb.
So stupid. Stand there for 15 minutes, go onto the meat grinder thing, make sure you knock all this, which I did that intuitively. I just did that to conserve on ammo. I I would just circle around. And this, like I said, I was at the point where one shot stunned them. So I would shoot them one time in the face, and they'd literally, and I could either push them towards the meat grinder, or realistically, I'd shoot them once in the face, and they would just stand there until they got sucked into the meat grinder. So it was dumb for me to use any more ammo than one shot per zombie on that part, because I would save ammo by shooting them a singular time in the face and, let the meat grinder do the work for me, But yeah, you're like stand there for 15 minutes before you activate the meat grinder part, do the meat grinder part without doing, killing any of them, go back to the hotel or the care center, flush the toilet 8 times, go down to the other part of the game, which now we can get into that part. This is like the hairy part. So that was my gripe with that part, I guess I should say. That's the only reason I wanted to bring it back, because that's where the ones and zeros really started to show with her programming. And like, it made me really realize she's not a true blue, I guess. Like, she is a stalker enemy, but essentially they had done the stalker enemy in a better way in previous titles, which I'm kind of happy they didn't in this one, because I don't know if Grace is trying to set a record for the slowest protagonist in Resident Evil, but she is slow as fucking molasses, dude. Like,
especially if you don't have a gun out and you're in third person, she'll just periodically trip and stumble.
Really?
Yeah. It's real annoying.
I kind of like that. I'm sure it's not fun, but it's cool that animation is there.
Once in a while it is, like seeing her fumble down and then get up, but being able to time, like, oh, it's about to happen again, and then she does it again. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, that's obnoxious.
Here's my thing. Grace, I get it. Everybody's like, oh, she's not Leon. She's not, and I get it. She's not a field agent. I understand that. Every FBI agent still has to do 5 months of FBI training in Virginia. They're still have to go to FBI training boot camp. She's not a simpleton. People are acting like she's like your average data analyst off the streets that they hired from like Microsoft and threw into a suit. No, she had to.
What do you mean?
Well, that's fine. She has like a stutter. I'll give her that. Like,
I like her voice actress.
She has like a canonical stutter. So like, a lot of people think it's nerves. It's not nerves. It's like actual. She has
she's stuttering
condition.
Off the top.
But it's that kind of stuff where she's tripping and shit like that, where it's like she is still a trained FBI operative. She's not a field agent, but you're telling me she made it all the way through FBI training with being fucking clumsy as shit? Is that what you're telling me? This girl lacks the capacity to run? That's one of the things they do all the time. That's like any federal job, you have to be able to run. So like it's stuff like that where I'm like, I get it, she's not a field agent, but she's acting like an invalid, and that's a whole different thing.
I would put this more on Capcom. Like, we were talking about this in the party. I think Capcom needs to and I don't even want to just point this out at Capcom. I think everybody as a whole, it's like, dog, Metal Gear Solid 5 and Last of Us 2 sprint animations exist. Let's move on. You don't need to be running slow. Put some urgency, make the enemies faster, make the hallways longer if you have to. Like, this whole I lose all tension because I'm like, I hope they kill me. I genuinely hope they kill me so I can get this checkpoint and do this pretend tension, because I know once I hit a certain pace, you're not going to catch me no more. Yeah. It's not like, it's just, it's stupid. Yeah. On the helicopter part, in my opinion, scrap that. That whole thing was goofy. What should have happened was you scrap that, and for whatever reason, you have to go back upstairs, and now the basement and the upstairs become one big level with light switches, and there's crimson heads or whatever you want to do, the blister heads and enemies, and now you're juiced up Grace and you're going in and up trying to get out, and turn it into one big, and have the attic available that Leon has now opened, and make that one big map with her stalking you through the whole thing.
There's enough enemies in that underground section that we didn't talk about that they could do that.
Yeah.
So as Grace, you find an elevator in search of this helicopter key. another laboratory, of course, because it's Umbrella. You get a key. You activate a self-destruct, of course. You're rushing up. This sequence was pretty cool, just with the water or the blood physics and the urgency that it's putting upon you. You're running through a mechanic that they never introduce again. This almost like fire extinguisher.
The anti-zombie spray.
Yeah, you're spraying.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You're spraying.
That does look cool. That whole scene does look cool. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's another set piece, but you're running to get out of this underground, and you're running upwards, and they give you this anti-zombie spray in a fire extinguisher style, and you're just spraying the zombies, and they're freaking out and exploding. They never have you do that ever again. You get outside, you get in the helicopter, and it's not a Resident Evil game unless a helicopter friggin' crashes. So a bunch of zombies swarm the helicopter, it crashes. You survive. He doesn't, of course.
Grace does not try at all to, let's say, shoot the fucking zombies that are trying to break through the window of the helicopter. She's very much still armed, and she just lets them, bust open the, throw the helicopter's trajectory off.
Yep. Then this transitions into Leon now protecting Grace and Emily to get into a church. This segment was a lot more tense on Insanity because there are zombies up there with Leon.
Oh, really?
Not active in the moment. Like when I first started, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to run to the section where I start shooting. And I do. And about halfway through the sequence, I get grabbed. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And then there's a blister head also over there. I'm like, okay, this is completely different. So I died, of course, restarted it. And at the same point, I'm like looking back and forth, trying to manage both her getting attacked on the ground and me getting attacked by these creatures. So that is one change with Insanity Mode that I did enjoy, where not only did they change the AI in the boss battles and some of the enemies, but they added enemies in areas that I wasn't anticipating. And this was actually a good one.
So, question, because I found out doing that same part, which I, try to make a point of shooting for the head. It didn't matter where you hit them in that part of the game with the rifle. You could shoot them anywhere and they just died. Did they change that Insanity, or is it just you just got to hit them?
You can shoot them in the head, and
I'm saying, does it
takes more. Yeah, on Insanity, yes. You can shoot them in the body and it'll stagger them or not do anything.
Standard difficulty, a body shot, a leg shot is a kill shot, with the exception of, I think, like another one of the chef enemies pop up. And with the exception of him, everybody else is one shot anywhere and they die instantaneously, just on that part specifically.
So you protect them, they get in the church, you do your Leon thing and slide down the roof of the building you're in, quip.
Land on a fucking zombie with a knee drop.
Crush his friggin' head. Excuse me. Okay.
Right.
You fight some zombies. You also enter in there. Of course, it's on fire. So there's urgency there. And we're introduced to a Last of Us enemy. A bloater, essentially. It's a massive, gross zombie with pustules on its body that you need to shoot to kill it. And the bloody red mist that comes out of these transforms zombies around it into blister heads. So that's a slightly different change than Last of Us. It's just essentially poison that hurts you. It doesn't do anything to zombies around you. So this was a slight change in that, but essentially just a bloater.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Pretty cool. Like, I like that enemy a lot. That's what I was saying earlier, where it's like, you have these cool enemies that just, like, because at this point in the game, I'm still in the mentality of, like, they're building up to something. You're building up to, okay, Leon has these to deal with. He has an inventory. Okay, he has an axe. Okay, he has this. Now there's these type of enemies. I'm still in the mentality of, like, they're going to unleash me in a Resident Evil 4-esque situation where there's all these enemy types and all this stuff. And, like, this was just another piece of that puzzle where I got blue balled again, where I was like, sniper scene, killed everybody super quick and was like, oh my God, can I just play as Leon? and then it moves back to Grace, right? Like pretty quick.
This is the girl fight.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was the basement 2.0. I mean,
it's literally it's literally at
the
this
same
point.
thing.
At this point, it is I'll keep letting Vaughn transition the story along.
Sorry.
It's essentially that, like you said, the basement just in a smaller enclosed area and much darker, and you're flipping switches, and you have to find a switch for one of them. And go ahead.
Yeah, it's effectively the girl. It's her boss fight, quote unquote.
Right.
Yeah. It is in very small contained area where you're looking for 3 switches. There's big spotlights in the area that you can turn on to repel her. And this part kind of got on my nerves too, because there were certain parts where it's like she just completely blocked the fucking way past. So it was like, even if like because I was decked out, I had tons of Requiem ammo. I had tons of I had like 7 Molotovs, and obviously then there was the lights. Like I didn't even use the floodlights that were in there because I didn't have to. But it was like there were some times where she would just block the way. She was just so big that she would completely block. So it's like I would stun her, and I still couldn't get around her because in this part she wouldn't run away. She would just because she was chasing you.
Oh, it would stagger her. Like for super long, but it would block the way.
It's like staggering a brick wall. Like,
I
still can't leave the fucking room because she's blocking it.
Yeah.
So I know I died one time in that part, literally just because she blocked the way, and I didn't grab it was the one where you had to grab like the tool, because you have the first light you can do. They let you do the first one for free, and then the other one you have to have a tool, and then the other one it's like jammed, so you have to stun her. And then you have to crank it slowly, and it, you could technically stop, but it was one of those things where I just made a guess, and I was right. Where it's like if I perfectly timed the stun, literally threw the Molotov.
I did the same thing.
knew it was gonna hit, and so I just looked away from her and I started cranking it. So you're supposed to keep stunning her, but it's like nope.
Funny.
There's enough time for me to finish this. Boop, light
I
turns
did
on.
the exact same thing. That's hilarious.
On Insanity, it takes 2 Requiem shots to stun her.
Damn. Did you try to see what the Molotovs are like? Because I know those are supposed to be like the thing for her, because they're not really super great for anything else.
I don't remember tossing one at her on Insanity. If I did, I only threw one, and it did stun her. So that might be the way to go in general.
Yeah, I think that the Molotovs were almost specifically made for her. Because you get a bunch when you're doing the initial basement segment.
So, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I was thinking how good the gore is. Like when you shoot a zombie and their jaw breaks off and their eyes roll out and all that stuff. Yeah. That stuff looks incredible. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, the game's got some soul to it. I'm not gonna
100%.
There's a lot of things that could have elevated it to a legendary status, and by all means, the game is kicking ass. So like, I'm happy that it's selling really well.
Yeah, at the end of this, I do have an overall positive kind of thing for it. Like,
we got to cut it before then.
Yeah.
So she does the 3 cranks. It opens the skylight. The girl's burning. Pow, pow, pow. Dunzo. She's dead. Run back to get Emily, because at this point she got hurt. So she's essentially knocked out, seemingly dead in this section. And then she transforms into a disgusting RE8 looking type baby creature.
Oh, yeah.
Leon shows up. Yay. Pow, pow, pow. How could you do that, Leon?
That was the part that was like...
she's going to kill you.
Right. Like, she's a straight up monster now. It's not someone that's infected and we have to stop the infection before. It's like, she's like a monster.
Nasty flesh creature coming at you. And Leon shows up and pistols it, and Grace gets super, super upset about it because she wanted to save somebody, and tosses the Requiem gun back to Leon, and she just leaves. Grace just like, it's like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
She walks up the stairs to the knockoff Wesker character.
Zeno.
I also just want to throw in there real quick. After getting blue balled 99 times, for them to only let you pull the trigger like it's Time Crisis for that part infuriated me, dude. I was like, okay, at this point, you're kind of making me angry, actually. Like, let me play as Leon. They literally just crosshairs. Can't move. I thought I was going to at least fight it. It's like, nah, just shoot it. Uh-oh. Kerchak's got opinions. He's like, you're being too hard on it. It was a good game.
Wesker's cool, too. So
trying to mute the mic because he was doing his super high-pitched, open-mouthed dog whine. Just...
Dude, when I saw him, I jumped out of my skin, though. Like, I thought, and that's primarily because I thought my prediction was about to happen that I had been saying all this time. So I was like, it's happening. And he looks so cool. And then
he looked just different enough where I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, it's throwing you off.
And Grace goes with him. He sweet talks her into like coming with him. And then it switches to Leon. And we are going to Raccoon City. Yes. Finally. They teased it. Brown Unreal Engine 3 Raccoon City, baby. And very nostalgic. Very tearing at the heartstrings here. Wonderful ambiance. Music. I don't think we talked about the music at all yet. I enjoyed the soundtrack. It's subtle in a lot of areas, but the Leon segments, Raccoon City's really good. The Leon action scenes definitely ramp up the sound, which I enjoyed.
I liked his little combat loop they had. I don't know, it was simple, but I don't know. I was kind of digging it. Like towards as I'm playing, I'm like, okay, it's kind of a bop.
Yeah,
it's nothing crazy. But it's just like, okay,
right.
All right. Which makes sense because you're Leon. So now it's like, you're not. It doesn't need to be crazy because it's not crazy for him. He's just there to catch bodies and save the day. He's not like, oh god, what am I doing? He's, as we talked about before, his is like a walk him down, style.
Right. So you get to Raccoon City. There is a blocked gate which was set up to have C4 blow through it, but you don't have a detonator. So now you're on a new fetch quest with Leon to find all these mechanical pieces and parts. And Adrian has a thing he wants to say.
There's absolutely no way you're skipping that giant fucking disgusting arachnid.
There is a giant spider that you are fighting and killing.
Horrifying. I just a small thing, just because it's something people talk about and I talk about. It's the essentially the transference of durability if bugs got giant because they have exoskeletons. So the spider is essentially like trying to cut a pillar. Like he tries to cut it and the axe just like bounces off of it. Horrifying. The second that happened, I'm like, oh, we got to run. Leon, we got to run. This is exactly what the movies don't want to tell you, which is this thing would damn near be impenetrable by any normal means. There's no taking a baseball bat to this thing. You got to get out of here. But I just wanted to bring up the spider because spiders are gross. I don't have arachnophobia, but they did a really good job.
Reference to something like a past game or something? I know they're in Resident Evil 1. It felt it's just a big spider. Okay.
I wouldn't, because in Resident Evil 2 they're in the basement segment of RPD.
Yeah.
So it could be a remnant of them. It could not be. I don't know.
We don't know.
But It's a giant fucking spider, Brandon. What do you want? Resident Evil 5 had a giant bat centipede fucking caterpillar thing, and they never really explained anything about that. It's just you're fighting horrors beyond human imagination. Okay, just
No,
buckle up for the ride.
I get that. I just like the game just presents itself so much as like an MGS4 or like
Like a reference farm.
Yeah,
They had-
DMC 5. Like I should be seeing all these little details. Everything's like
the problem with it comes with they had an opportunity to tie a lot of these things in together in a more coherent. Like if you're gonna, I will always take fan service, always. And I'm, I think you should cater to that. You shouldn't make a game, and I'm not saying this game is, but you shouldn't make a game that completely is fan service. But by all means, like, gimme. But this game, I feel like, had a lot of opportunities to capitalize on the fan service in a way that would have been much more impactful and much more meaningful, and it just failed to do so. It kind of set up all the pieces, and then but didn't really get the connective tissue right. So you have awesome thing, and then it's kind of like, and now it's over. Awesome thing, and now it's over again. It's like,
at least we're all on the same page with that.
Feels like a music video. Like it's just like
it's like a cologne commercial.
Yeah,
It's like awesome thing. You're like
good-looking guys,
fast cars, tigers,
we're
lightning
sinking in the water,
thunderstorm. You're like, okay, how do these things tie together? And it's like Armani, and it's like it's same thing. It's like giant spiders, possibly Wesker, monsters, Leon Kennedy, Porsche, Armani gloves, Resident Evil 9. You're like,
that's the truest thing ever. Yeah, at least with the Raccoon City part, I'm torn because I love the ambiance and I love like how they're kind of dealing with Leon having kind of like survivor's guilt. I know they don't like go super into it too deep, but I don't know if maybe I was just projecting a lot of that onto him at the same time, where I'm just like, this would be haunting to be, one of the very few, and you're looking around at this Holocaust that they did. It's just like, damn, dog, this is crazy. So there's like this loneliness to it that's really cool. And I dig the music and blah, 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 and it looks amazing. But this is when it, like, for real, I started to have issues with the game as a whole, and I started to realize this game wasn't what I wanted it to be. I thought it was cool at first that there's no merchant and you're, like, getting points for a second just for quick dopamine hits. And then once it started to sink in with me that after one combat encounter, I almost leveled every single weapon up. And I'm like, oh, there's no progression in this game. And then I immediately started thinking about Grace. I'm like, Grace had 2 guns. There's no progression in this game at all. And then I'm like going back and forth to myself, trying to, see it different ways and not be bullheaded, where I'm like, okay, maybe the progression could be seen as Grace is the early stages of a Resident Evil. When you first get to Raccoon City, that's the middle part. And then you upgrade to the assault rifles and crazy stuff, whatever. But that thought quickly left my head, and I was like, no, it just isn't fun, and the progression just isn't good. And on top of that, there's like this huge Raccoon City with maybe 15 zombies or something. Like the gas station part's cool. The gas station part was really cool. But there was like, it was in the back of my head the entire game where I'm like, are you really not going to unleash a bunch of enemies on me to truly like let loose with Leon, especially in this big city? Because it started to really hit me that the problem I have with this game is it's the enemies. They're way too simple. Like, and it's not to compare them, directly because they're different games or whatever, but it's like, it is the sequel to RE4 with Leon. This is the next game with him, or like RE6, where, a group is running at you and I shoot you in the knee, you fall down, it slows everybody else down. He has a Molotov, it sets the group on fire. You're just fighting zombies in this. They have one note, they run at you and try to bite you, and you do your counter, or you do your axe, or they have a machine gun and they shoot it up in the air. and it becomes very monotonous. And like pretty much by the time you know how to fight the first couple zombies, you know how to fight them all. And Leon's parts to me, I ended up liking Grace more than Leon when it was all said and done. And I think there's potential for Leon to play better. He just doesn't have the adversaries to let loose on. It's like, I don't want to just fight. It's like power tripping and like power fantasy is only fun to a certain degree until it becomes numbing. And that's where I feel like Leon's gameplay kind of lies, is it's like, I'm zoned out. I'm just killing stuff. It doesn't even mean anything anymore. And my gun's maxed out. Now they're super dead. It's like
when Vaughn told me you could parry anything, and because I didn't think you could parry the zombies.
I didn't either for a while.
I thought it was going to be like zombies with weapons exclusively, but when I found out you could parry literally anything, I was like, oh, then there's no point. I also love that the BSAA is like kill counting effectively, which is considered a war crime. And I get it, the zombies, but like, you're not supposed to keep trophies. They literally get bracelets that count the kills and pay them to kill things. Which has its own kind of silliness in itself, because it's like, why would you have a military operate? Like, the merchants make sense. They're impartial third parties that could really give a shit less. They just want to make a buck. But it's like, are you telling me that if I'm on a military operation, they're like, I mean, I really would equip you with the best possible gear to, successfully complete this mission, but you're going to have to kill at least 30 people before I give you, something really substantial here. But with the scarcity of zombies you're talking about, it's because there's only so many zombies, I guess, that could bury themselves in the dirt before the thermobaric bomb hit.
If they were even like burying themselves, I took it as all the soot and stuff settled on top of them, and then they just hibernated in the sense, went to sleep or something.
My thing with that is there's a handful of creatures within the Resident Evil series in which infinite longevity is implied. The zombies are not one of them. They, by all means, should have just naturally deteriorated into nothing, because it's been 30 goddamn years. So, like the Lisa Trevors of the world, stuff like that. Like, Lisa Trevor is effectively immortal. She makes sense to not die. The zombies, I don't know. It's as far as I was aware, they're like, it reanimates them, but like, they're still very much should deteriorate after 30 years, I would think, like become skeletal.
Dude.
I mean, it's that's nitpicky. That is nitpicky. The war crime thing, but that, just to bring up the whole Leon progression, that threw me for a loop. That whole part, I was like, you guys couldn't think of any better way to implement an upgrade system than to give the special forces unit in an arcade machine bracelet that they got points to spend real life money by murdering things. Is that what we're going with here? That's the best thing you guys could cook up for me, huh?
That whole section, it just, I don't know what would have, I feel like
I love Leon's section. I had a lot of fun with it. I get what you're saying, but like me personally, I thought it was fun as shit. I had gotten to the point where, I was running them down, run in your face, bow, shoot you in the face, kick you up against a thing, grab your thing, stab people, grab a tank, throw it, shoot it. Like, I was playing it like an action movie scene the whole time. Like, I was having a ball.
And I totally like agree with that. I think maybe the issue is that like I just played RE4 and it's just better. Like, RE4's Leon combat is leaps and bounds better than this. And it's confusing because Leon has his kit. For the most part, it's the same thing. Like, he even maybe has a little bit more because he has the gun counter. Yeah, yet I just feel like I'm not doing anything. Like, oh, I'm shooting you like every other game. I don't really feel like Leon in 4 has such a specific vibe to him where it's like, that's Leon.
I don't think it's a Leon problem. I think it's an enemy problem. And
2000%.
The enemy variety, like you said, is the biggest problem in retrospect with this section, where, like you said, it's just zombies. Like it's the same zombies from 1 and 2, just in a different skin. And you don't have the Las Plagas where there's 3 or 4 different forms, and as the game progresses, you're encountering them and doing different things to counteract them, which is what 4 did. If that was in this one in some form or fashion, of course you'd feel differently, because, like you said, the combat has evolved for Leon specifically. It's just, like we said, they only went halfway with it and then dropped the ball.
Yeah, because with the parry system, just to bring it up, like that is the, I don't want to use the term limiter, but that's what, really kind of makes it, trivializes everything. Everything is equal when nothing can hit you. Doesn't matter. Blisterhead can't hit me. A zombie with a pipe can't hit me. Zombie with a spear can't hit me. It doesn't matter, because they did try variation in that sense.
Even
where, like
watching you do the final boss was silly. I was like, oh gosh, I'm parrying this colossal. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
I had 8 healing items, and then I took you saw me. I was walking people down with the sniper rifle. And I took the scope off it and was just using it like a,
I did the same thing.
Like a shotgun.
It was cool. I did the same thing. That was my favorite weapon in the game, bro.
Oh yeah.
And like, even to kind of go off with that, like you're saying, if everything's parryable and everything's trivial, that's another thing that 4 gets, is some things are not parryable. Like, you have to, like, when they run it, which you can do this in RE9 as well. Once again, a lot of his kit is there. It's just there's no point to use it, because, like you're saying, I'll just parry everything. But
you have Resident Evil 2 enemies with Resident Evil 9 Leon.
Yeah, and
it's like he leveled up and they didn't.
Exactly. So, like, and I was talking to Vaughn about this. I'm like, maybe if you were to go from 2, which I don't know why you would ever do this, but if you were to go from like 2 to 9, it could feel like a revenge. You were getting dog walked in 2, and now you come back and you can just like roll tide on everybody that, was giving you an issue. But it's like, I'm really trying to throw you a bone at that point. Because like in 4, for example, like the zombies, they run to grab you, just like they do in this one. In 4, you can't parry that, but you can duck it. So in this, you can parry that or you can duck it. Okay, cool. And then in 4, when they go to punch you, you can parry that and it'll cut an arm off, which you can do that here. But then when like big guys go to swing at you, it gives you a unique prompt to do a backflip or do a special kind of duck. In that, it's like, it just looks so silly to me to see something so big.
Vaughn said it already. You parry a car. Okay.
It's literally, no. I guess it's a weird thing, man, because it's like a really polished, lazy thing is what this comes off to me as. A very polished, shallow thing. And I'm going to throw it out there, man. I'm going to say it. I think this has Ragnarok syndrome a little bit. I don't hate this game like I hate Ragnarok. Like, I actually enjoyed RE9. It was a good game. But there is a psyop going on right now. People are like, 10 out of 10, game of the year, best Resident Evil. Like, you are high if you think this is the best Resident Evil.
I think that has just been something that is a tale as old as time when it comes to new releases for games, though. I feel like there's always going to be people that do that every time. I mean, there's still people that think Madden is a good game. So that's like the greatest psyop ever. That's been the same game since 2005.
To be fair, also, I was very hyped in the beginning as well, but I kept saying the caveat: if this continues into I kept putting that, like, I haven't beat it yet, I haven't done it yet, but people are just like, stamped, seal approval, best Resident Evil. And I'm like, I don't know about all that, like, at all.
And then it was over.
There are people that probably legit think that. I think the other element to keep in mind is we're a different generation of gamer, and current generation is that dopamine hit, and this hits.
It is a dopamine hitter.
This has hits of dopamine left and right, and it's fueling. It does. No offense to young gamers, but your brain is configured differently for games, and they're banking on it. Again, not a bad game. they know how to hit those action scenes, but we were comparing it to previous things, and we understand how it is.
Well, even to go with what Brandon, leaning on what Brandon's kind of saying about the upgrade system, and it's like I'm here to have my dopamine just spiked, like abuse it by all means. Like I love seeing numbers go up as much as the next guy, but it was meaningless. Like it ultimately felt meaningless because I was, for all intents and purposes, I was at max power the moment I became Leon. Period. Like I was upgrading I was upgrading my weapons, but it's like, I killed all these zombies. It's like these upgrades are meaningless. It's still a one-shot headshot kill with the sniper rifle. It's still I'm going to shoot them twice in the face, kick them up against the wall, and smack a axe into their head. Like it, realistically speaking, none of the I didn't recognize any noticeable difference in the performance of my weapons as Leon by upgrading them. I didn't. It didn't change the way I played. It didn't change any of my encounters. It didn't really feel like it made them smoother. I did end up using the rifle a lot, and is one of those things where it falls kind of on, not to be like, I'm super good, but it's like if you're a decent shot, it's like a group of 3 or 4 zombies, just rifle, bang, 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 and then I pull out the pistol, parry a guy, shoot him in the head, because they have like there is almost like a built-in parry counter shot mechanic. Like if you parry it, and then it seemed like it did increase damage when I did it. And it's like, boom, shot him, stun him, kick him, axe him. Same thing, rinse and repeat. I really didn't even use the shotgun much throughout the game because there was just almost no point. I could kill everything before it even got near me.
Yeah.
And then I'd whip out the shotgun in cases where something was a little bit closer. But for the most part, especially in that initial Leon sequence, everything was so far away from me. I didn't really have to do it. It's like I was sitting on the roof like the dude from Dawn of the Dead, just blowing zombies' heads off. And it's like, okay,
and I don't like, and also I was trying to see if there was something I was missing with the combat. Like I was watching, like after I had beat it, I watched so many like high level gameplays. Like, dude, maybe there's just something I'm missing. There wasn't. There wasn't. Like because I had figured out the combo is heavy axe attack, and then which is really cool. After that heavy axe attack, he does go one-handed with the pistol. He kind of pulls a Wild West thing, which is really sick. So if you go heavy axe and land that headshot, then you can get the melee kick. Ideally, you position them up against the wall, and then you can get the side kick to kill them.
Never used the melee.
Yeah. So and that's the thing is I was trying to go out of my way to do that.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't natural. It wasn't like RE4 where you're like parry, duck, shoot. Like I'm really trying to survive the situation. It's like it just.
Only time I used it was to break the raccoons because I didn't want to spend a round on them.
Right.
That was it. Other than that, I'd shoot them, and I'd just, like I said, same thing. Shoot them in the head, and then they're stunned enough. I could literally just walk around them and position them so that when I kick them, they'd run into the wall. And when they hit the wall, it's a guaranteed melee kill.
Right. I don't know if I said this.
I don't
know if I did, but
it happened.
What I really wanted this whole situation to turn into would be like, once the whole place is open, for some reason, the ground opens up and all the enemy types start pouring out. And now you're running from the top of those roofs and the zip line and the elevator and across the bridges and to the gas station. And you're just dealing with hordes, every enemy in the game. And you got to do Leon stuff. But it just never happened at all. And it's like, why y'all do my boy like this? Why y'all do my boy like this?
His section lacked the enemy variety.
They also didn't let me drive the Porsche. So,
speaking of driving, you get all the pieces for this, blow the gate open, and you conveniently find a motorcycle in one of the shipping crates. So you ride that bitch right towards the Raccoon City Center. And you encounter Gideon again on a little moped. He's also on a motorcycle, but I like to imagine he's riding a little Vespa.
With an RPG.
Super cool action sequence.
Oh yeah.
This we've talked about it on previous party chats, but this section I think is a proving point for the rumored Code Veronica semi-open world on a motorcycle rumors out there. This I think is a proof of concept that is totally a viable thing. It's very guided. Like, you can't roam anywhere. It is an action sequence. You're progressing along a specific segment and shooting an enemy that you never see again. Some infected hounds,
wolves, whatever. Yeah,
running.
It was crazy too.
Super fast,
so cool.
insane.
Yeah. They're big.
Yeah,
real big.
Yeah. So you're shooting some exploding propane tanks, blowing wooden doors down to get through alleyways. There's a face-off with Gideon, Wild West style, on motorcycles. Go ahead.
You can't skip the building. Driving up the side of the building.
Bayonetta style, just
Leon drives straight up a building,
shoots a RPG and tumbles a building down, and thinks that he blocked Leon. Little do you know, Leon defies gravity and rides up a almost 90-degree angle building and ramps off onto another one back onto the highway. And then you Wild West style face Gideon. You shoot his gas tank, blows him off. He falls down off the broken road, seemingly to his doom. Gone, dead. Good job, Leon. Then you show up at the old segment of where the tanker blew up in 2. You walk a familiar alleyway back to the RPD. The gate isn't the same gate from RE2, so they ruined my whole life.
Uncanon, garbage, disgust. Of course you didn't. Of course you did. Oh, you also didn't think about who locked the goddamn gate after everybody left. Who came back and locked that gate? Because Hunk opens it. So somebody came back after Hunk left and locked the gate. Is that what you're telling me? You know what, Brandon?
Who's Hunk?
Me. So we're back at RPD. All dilapidated, super cool looking. Clearly see that the BSAA were there, looking around, doing things. Lots of nostalgia. Easter egg. You can see the Tofu character here, alive and well.
Oh, dude, it's
really?
It scared me, dude. It jump scared me to death. I was like, oh my god, what is that? It was like, wiggle, wiggle,
where?
And kind of by that cop that he's like, when you kill him and he's like, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest easy.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Soldier or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's behind one of the walls out there in the rubble, and he peeks around and runs back. It was disturbing.
What?
Yeah, you can encounter him twice. It's there, and then in the other room where you would normally like climb up through the window in 2. In the rubble, the broken wall there, you can see him there too.
Oh, I'm so upset I missed that. I'm gonna have to go back and.
This is weird.
Well, I'm gonna replay it again.
That part was cool. Yeah, that was cool.
Some bitch didn't help me.
You get the jack from the library. You jack up the metal gate that you first do in 2. You hear Zeno and Grace chit-chatting away. And a familiar face shows up. Mr. X crashes through the ceiling because, doesn't have time for you. So, chases you through a short segment that really is kind of lackluster. You could have done so much more with this. It is cool that he was like using a huge metal pillar and breaking through the wall as you're running away. That was cool.
I think that was a piece of the helicopter.
Oh, was it the helicopter?
I think that was like the tail of the helicopter.
I immediately turned around, so I didn't get a good look at it, but it looked metal, so that makes sense.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fucking goober. I died there.
I did too.
Well, because I stood there staring there at the door. He doesn't he only starts moving it when you turn around and run. So this is kind of like if people make, kind of like the hand holdiness of this game, where it's like I walked into it and I got impaled. Like I was sitting there, like I was standing at the door, and the tail of the helicopter was just sitting there in front of me for like a solid 10 seconds, and I'm like, do I fucking walk forward then? And then I walked a little bit forward and it like impaled me. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I was supposed to turn around and run. And then when I did that, he starts to move it.
That's interesting because I got right to the doorway and it busts through and started coming at me. So I immediately did the quick turn. It's like, I'm out of here.
Oh, yeah. I took like a half step back and it pokes through the door and it doesn't, he doesn't continue going.
Interesting.
That's weird.
Real quick, I just want to say the motorcycle scene is awesome.
Oh, it's super cool.
I just didn't get to say that. It's like super sick, and it would have been even better if I had just kicked a bunch of zombie tail back before. Oh, but that, and then they shouldn't have shown that in the trailer, the going to Raccoon City Police Department, if it was going to be this small of a part. That was very much wasted. That would have been way cooler as like a, whoa, we're back here, opposed to the whole time I'm playing now, I'm like, I can't wait to get to the police station.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking that was going to be the big puzzle, and it wasn't. It was just a quick set piece. So it was like, this is why you just can't watch trailers, man. They just destroy expectations. And it's like, oh, you did it to yourself. It's like, kind of, but not really. Like, kind of, yeah, I guess. But like, how was I supposed to know this was going to be the brain rot Resident Evil? How was I supposed to know?
Right, because you really don't do shit there. You get the most relevant thing that happens because you only fight the one zombie and then you do the Mr. X chase. Yeah, the most worthwhile thing that came out of that whole area was the picture of Rebecca. That's really it. Like, other than that, I could have skipped that whole part, but that I needed.
I did like going to the desk and seeing like where your rookie thing was and the letters and like that, little riddle they were giving you from 2.
Yeah.
That was cool. I dug all that. And once again, the music there is just like, Capcom is just, it's so cool with their music, and it's all of their games. It's like they're still in the like late 90s, early 2000s with their music. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like they still just hit those nostalgia tones every single time somehow. It's like every single one of their games, there's always one little tune, whether it's a save room. By the way, I love this game's save room music. I don't know why. Loved it. Adored it.
It's always good. I think they've capitalized. They've cornered the market on cozy sounds.
Yeah. But like, yeah, all their games do. Dragon's Dogma, Devil May Cry, all of them have a sound or like a sound or a song or a whatever, a little tune that I'm just like, I will remember that forever. I absolutely adored that noise on my ear holes. And yeah, this game's no different, especially with the Leon, like police station parts. Super cool.
So
after that, you head out towards the orphanage. So the Claire segment of 2. And you fight Mr. X. This is a cool fight. I enjoyed this this parry-esque gameplay loop. It was fun to see you parry this attack and then him just like look at you like, how did you just do that?
Yeah, that part's sick.
Just does the head turn like, what?
Yeah, that part's cool.
I died a few times to the cars itself, just because I got trapped by a car or was backing up and didn't realize there was a car behind me. So these cars were tumbling like in space. It was pretty funny. He would just hit it, and then I would think I'm about to get hit by a car, and then just like stops in front of me and is like tumbling.
He only did that once with me, and it landed to my right. Like he only threw one car through my whole fight.
Cars.
He was throwing cars at me like crazy.
Yeah, I straight up didn't realize that was a thing. Like this is the first I'm hearing of it. I parried it, Requiem shot, melee, parried it, Requiem shot, hit the melee, parried it, Requiem shot, and then I used like 2 rifle rounds, and that was it. He was just. I feel like I missed out.
Just not good, I guess.
Yeah,
I feel like I missed a whole set piece. That sucks. Like that's. I was just gonna say I feel like that fight was very mundane and boring. Like I feel like they could have for that guy, that reveal,
minus that parry, like, and once again, I don't know if it's me having expectations or whatever. And it wasn't. I wasn't expecting to fight Mr. X. I didn't see that coming or anything. Like that was super cool. It's just when you're setting these standards with Mr. X, and you're setting these standards with who Wesker is, and you're setting these standards with who Leon and how he fights and stuff. So it's like I have certain expectations. When you put me out into this city where me and Mr. X are having this cowboy showdown, why are we fighting in this one little circle? Like that would have been so cool of him, like he's walking through walls. He's like, I would almost trade the motorcycle set piece for a Mr. X chasing you through the city set piece. Like, give Mr. X his flowers, man. I shouldn't have beat that in 2.5, 3 minutes. Like,
I would have almost preferred you guys duking it out in like the RPD. Like, let's finish what we started.
Destroy it. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, let's finish what we started, where we started it. Like, fucking put up your dick beaters. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, for real. That would have been sick. Because that also becomes kind of a reoccurring theme through this game. Is it's just like, I feel like I wouldn't say it to the extreme of like Suicide Squad or anything like that, but it's kind of like, I feel like you're hatefully getting rid of some of these characters. Like, why are you not giving them any, I don't know, like they get 2 minutes with minor resistance. It's like, I don't know, but we can continue on. Yep. Yeah.
Maybe my least favorite section in the game. You're playing in a gray segment as a child.
In a flashback,
yeah, flashback at the orphanage. A super creepy little girl experiments killing the doctors here. You have no offensive capability. You're strictly hiding and then running, trying to avoid them. This is mainly just to tell you that there is a umbrella laboratory underneath the orphanage. So you avoid these little girl experiments. You get down there, you get drugged, and that's it. Very uneventful, kind of lame.
I feel like it held really no relevance.
Yeah.
Because I almost expected them to pop up again, but they just never did. Like, I almost expected that when you went down to the facility later on, that you would run into them.
We can just talk about Arc right now because it's essentially the
segment. I mean, it's the next part. I mean, that segment had nothing to it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I didn't hate the little kid part in the orphanage that much. I didn't think it was like great or anything. It felt like, oh, this is the scene, like the baby scene in 8. Like, oh, you have no weapons, you have to be scared and run around kind of segment, which the baby scene in 8 is way better than this. Like, by a country mile. But I did think it was creepy, for sure. I was like, ugh. And I didn't struggle with it too bad. I think I died once. But
the baby scene progressed the game, though. Like, I feel like that scene, I don't know, because the way that it transitions, it kind of is neat, where it transitions from that part to your Grace watching that as a video.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of filling her in on her backstory, which it never really explain. It never states that she's like an amnesiac, which, in all fairness, I don't remember shit from when I was like 5 either. But I feel like I'd remember that. I feel like those are some pretty substantial. Like, I do have a couple memories, and I think they all involve being scared of something. So,
well, Outbreak, Alyssa does have that drug given to her where she forgets about Umbrella. So I guess
which would make sense that they would give that to kind of great. Well, no, because she steals. They ever explain what happened with Grace? Now that I'm really thinking about it, they ever can explain how Alyssa comes into actual possession of Grace, because we could talk about the initial part later, but yeah, they never really explain how she comes to be Grace's guardian.
Do you want to just do the timeline and then we can just talk about it all?
Yeah,
because
we're at like almost 2.5 hours, so we can just go right to it.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. Did you want to?
Oh, I thought you were gonna just jump right.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can kind of give the general. Yeah. So then, it's like revealed that Spencer had a change of heart, allegedly, in these videos, that he felt bad.
It's alluded to that he
that he felt bad about what he did.
Everybody's been wrong so far. Everybody essentially thought, because if you read some of the notes, they essentially are trying to do some kind of Lazarus program where they transfer the consciousness of an individual into a new vessel
via blood and the virus.
So essentially, it's been alluded to through the entirety of the game that Grace is that vessel. So essentially, it's been alluded to, and Gideon and Zeno believe that essentially Oswald wanted his consciousness to be transferred into effectively Grace so that he could be reborn into a healthy body and continue his work. And it turns out that was not the case. That was not the case at all.
I've come around to it. At first I was like, okay, that's kind of lame, but I think at this point I'm like, that's pretty cool and funny.
Yeah, I thought I got a kick out of that one too. I also got a kick out of like the Gideon. He was going to find a way to interpret that as something diabolical, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no matter what, because he's like, the second he's like, yeah, this is completely not what we expected. He's like, he's a genius. It's one of those things where it's like, once somebody,
you're going to admire him no matter what because you're obsessed with him.
Right. And you see it all the time where it's like how people make music and someone could make an absolute trash album and someone's like, oh, you just don't get it, man.
Yeah.
You just don't get it. It's like, no, this is two people slapping out of tune trombones together while running a shop vac in the back. This is not good, is what this is. It's not revolutionary. It's butt cheeks. And it's the same thing where he's like, his plan is still to sow chaos in the world via anarchy by getting rid of bioweapons. It's like, or, hear me out, he wanted to cure bioweapons because he felt bad. He didn't want you to turn around and cause anarchy now. He wanted you to stop it.
Is that how you took it?
That's the way I looked at it, because it was like, he felt bad, so he's releasing I don't think he had any, I think in his dying days, effectively, he's like, yeah, I don't want to, progress should never be made, because he even says it. He's like, progress shouldn't be made at the expense of other people. You shouldn't hurt others to make progress. So essentially this when he's talking to, so this is still kind of skipping. So
we're at the end. We're at the end.
Yeah.
So
you guys discover the Ark. You discover the Ark. It's once again, another big ass underground facility, apparently directly adjacent to the other one. Yeah. So they hit us with a surprise on that one. We thought that Umbrella had one singular underground facility per location. This one, they had like fucking 3 of them all side by side, and nobody knew that they were all directly adjacent to each other. So, joke's on you. You should have dropped that thermobaric bomb about 5 feet to the left. But you go, Grace gets taken there via Zeno. He personally escorts her there. Leon finds his way there by being fucking Leon, just drops to the bottom of the biggest trench ever known to man. Really not implied how he figured just going into a big ass hole would eventually lead him to the location that he needed to be at. But you get there. You fight a giant plant 42, which is, obviously call back to, plant 47 or something from Resident Evil 1?
47,
either way,
43 or something.
Something like that. Big ass plant. Fight the big ass plant. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Get it done. You're now in the Ark. You're going through there. You fight some elite guards. And then this is kind of where we get caught up to the part where you are Grace watching these videos with Zeno. you watch the Oswald Spencer video, and he is sitting with you as a baby talking to Alyssa, who is a reporter giving an interview of essentially him right before he dies. And this is where I was bringing up earlier, is it demonstrates the connection between the two in the way that Alyssa knows of Grace's existence as a baby, but obviously you play the part where she's in the orphanage. So they never really explain. I guess she adopted her after the orphanage got all fucked up by weird demonic children. But yeah, when he's talking to her, he literally he states that, like, semi verbatim, is that he doesn't feel that progress, that he realizes he's been wrong this whole time, and that progress should not be made at the expense of others, and that raising Grace as a normal child is his small bit of atonement in the grand scheme of all the absolute atrocities he's caused. And then he made Elpis as a cure for pretty much any biological weapon. It is the skeleton key, the whatever you want to call it. If there is any kind of viral essentially he created the cure to everything via Elpis, I reckon, which obviously it's Resident Evil, so we're focusing on the fact that it makes people giant monsters, but essentially he made, for people that don't know, viruses cannot be removed or destroyed from your blood. They are always in you. The moment you get a virus, it is always within you, cannot be removed. That's one of the traits of a virus. He invented a serum that deletes viruses, something hitherto impossible to do. I know it's Resident Evil, he's making monsters, but like, yes, he created the vaccine, the philosopher's stone of vaccines. No matter what you give it, he cured AIDS, he cured HIV, he cured, literally, just if someone's got a virus, give it to them. The common cold, it's a wrap. He's cured everything with Elpis. So that's where I got that. And then, Xeno's mad because he's looking at it like he realizes what it is, where he's like, he's kind of like, you pussy, you chicken shit it out at the last minute. I thought we were here to make weapons. And then Gideon is like I said, he's doing he's going to interpret it no matter what, because he believes that they're going to make change in the world via some. It's always got to be violence and chaos with him, from what I can, what I gathered from him. It's always it can't be change in the world via rainbows and kittens. It's always got to be some kind of violence, some kind of extreme measure. It can't be, changing the world via peace and helping people. So that's what I got from that portion of it. But
I definitely didn't take it that way.
How did you take it?
I took this as there is a very slim part of me that feels that he had some sort of remorse for it, but I think it was ultimately all part of a bigger plan, that he was making Grace the key and appealing to Alyssa's emotions. Like, you watch over this key that no one else is going to know about, because it's going to come into play down the road. In that same breath, I think he was working on Elpis to give one final FU to everyone using his work for profit. Because you find a collectible in Ark, and I was telling Brandon about this, it's essentially a JCPenney's catalog of bioweapons. Like 14 million for a liquor, 32 million for whatever.
Yeah.
I think Spencer knew that it was going to get out of hand and it was going to be all about money. So he was going to give one last FU to anyone that continued to try to take his work and just use it for capitalistic gains. So when the time came, Grace would unleash this and say, fuck all of you. Like, my work was about evolving the human species, and then you turn it into just a money grab. I was doing it for actual progress. So I'm going to cure it so you can't do anything about it now.
So he's a fucking commie. Oh, fuck him. Fuck him,
That's how I took it. I took it like a lot of people were on the side of he's done so much horrible stuff. How could you ever forgive this man? I didn't go that far. I took it as a extremely passionate dude that had spent his whole life to try to evolve the human species, and then to see it handled in such a just money grabbing way, which is kind of gross how it is today. But yeah, it's just one final FU to these people that took his life's work and ruined it.
Right. And I get where you get that. See, my thing was because my whole thing was I don't think he ever, atonement doesn't equal forgiveness. And I don't think he sought forgiveness. I think he looked at it as he was going to die. So he failed in accomplishing what he was trying to accomplish. Nobody that was taking up the reins after him had the same vision that he did. And since he didn't have enough time to seek forgiveness, the best thing he could have done is reset the clock to 0.
Which I guess
reset everything as it was before he did what he did.
Which I guess in that aspect, we could both be right in that theory. Like that mindset could then lead into the capitalistic one.
Right, 100%. That's why it is an interesting perspective. And it's that I think anybody that's assuming he's seeking like genuine forgiveness is off base. Because as I said, the atonement and forgiveness are two different things.
The second I saw that JCPenney catalog, I'm like, okay, yeah.
I saw it too. I just thought it was cool. I was like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it was interesting to put a dollar amount on these disgusting creatures that are killing machines. But then I was like, this is...
You've been hearing him talk about it every game.
Right.
It's like, we're going to sell them. They're going to be these bioweapons. They'll be used to fight wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm always wondering, I'm like, how much does this motherfucker cost? And it's like, yeah, a Tyrant costs like a lot of money, reasonably so, which, we can go into the logistics of, let's just hope nobody shoots this thing because, apparently it's all good until it takes a little bit of damage, and then it's going to rapidly evolve faster than anybody could possibly control or contain, and then be an unstoppable force.
Yeah, especially because there's no limiter on that. It would just keep evolving. And
I mean, you saw it on the Leon part. He picks up the missile to throw it at you. You shoot the missile immediately. It blows up and immediately does enough damage to start the rapid mutation that is a staple of every single Tyrant in this whole series.
Yeah, you see it with Birkin.
Yeah, almost any of the viruses, that is a staple of pretty much the Spencer legacy. The moment you do enough damage, whatever it is, the virus is going to rapidly mutate, and then whatever is going to come next is going to be substantially more horrific and completely uncontainable. There's all limiters will be removed. Anything that is going to make it obey anybody is going to be removed. It's like, I just spent $500 million on this fucking Tyrant. They hit it with one Tomahawk missile. Yeah, it started to wipe everybody else out, but then it turned around and started coming after us. Like, what the shit? Like, it's a terrible plan.
Protect Lisa. Yeah. Brandon, anything you'd like to add to this?
I guess the ending as a whole is a mixed bag for me. I'm not as deep into the Resident Evil lore, so a lot of stuff was going over my head. What I remember of Spencer was from him being, I think, in 5, being like, I was to become a god. And then, to see him in this, be like, oh, I did bad things, I'm so sorry. It's just kind of like, all right. But I'm going to throw it out there. You cure all viruses. I didn't know that about viruses, what you said, that once they're in, you cure viruses, I forgive you, dog. That's incredible. That's like, you made up for it. Like, that's insane.
That's why, with like vaccinations, it's like they're giving you a dead or weakened version of a virus, but that virus is forever in your system. Doesn't matter what virus it is. If you've ever gotten anything that's a virus, it will always remain in you forever.
I don't understand that's how that worked. Wow, that threw me off.
It's funny because we're talking about it, and I've been thinking about that, and like from a actual, like I get it, like crazy shit's happening, but just from a, that's something that scientists are trying to do now, so that's what kind of makes that. I'm like, that's kind of relevant to me. So it's like I would see that as effective atonement because I could see that. I could relate to that. If you're like, I'm trying to invent a human species through rapid evolution, I'm like, that sounds cool in concept, but it's a sci-fi thing. But it's like, yeah, I've cured all viruses. It's like, come again?
Yeah, that'd be
A
wicked.
very real thing that we are trying to look into doing right now and for many, many years. So that's actually something I can relate to on a real world level.
Yeah, so I kind of took it at face value, and I kind of took it in the sense of like, yeah, my life sucked. I did horrible things, so I'm going to try to do this one last thing before I go. Is kind of the way I took it. And then me and Vaughn were talking, and I was like, that's actually maybe more in line with his character, I think. That seems more believable to me just based off of what an absolute psychopath Spencer has been. It just seems weird for him to all of a sudden be like, yeah, I'm like, sorry. It just seems so.
I think we have to eliminate 5. I think we almost have to because of just what you just said, the juxtaposition. Because Wesker kills him in that. Yeah. And the tone he's taking. So clearly this would have had to have happened before the events of 5, which means he would have had to go on this redemption arc. And then he would have, because when Wesker kills him, he's still very much like in the headspace of like achieving immortality and I'm the shit and I'm,
right.
I am this great man. Whereas he's incredibly humbled in this one. So I feel like if anything, this kind of implies they're going to have to retcon 5 and do some kind of remake with that because the tone. Please. Well, I'm just saying the tone is completely different.
Yeah.
I take it as a total long con.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be right. I'm not saying I'm not writing that off. Right. I guess I'm giving more sincerity to a man that has been historically one of the most evil shadow puppeteers. And that's the thing where it's like it would be easy to retcon it because Spencer has so little screen time. Right. You really mostly only hear about Spencer. Like that scene in 5 and the scene in this is the most screen time Spencer's ever gotten.
Yeah.
So it's like they could retcon him easily, but the idea of somebody curing every disease known to man out of sheer pettiness is hysterical to me, dude.
That's why I love it. That's why I love that theory.
That is like I almost hope yours is right just because that is fucking hilarious.
You're going to build an arc that big and that complicated out of spite. You're a different breed of man.
It's not,
and I love it.
It's not, and it's not even just that. It's just the fact that I am willing to do what is hands down the greatest thing anybody's ever done, the most benevolent thing anybody's ever done for humanity out of sheer hateful spite.
I love it.
I hate you so much. I'm going to save the world.
And it's just like, so there's the whole thing with that. I took it at face value. Okay, he feels bad. And then the fight between Wesker, not Wesker, and Leon in that cutscene was super sick. Like when he cuts his arm off and his arm just kind of like regenerates back. Like all that was sick. And then Gideon comes back, which was kind of like, okay, I mean, okay, cool. Sure, you're back. It just was so disappointing to me that you didn't fight Zeno and you fought Gideon. Like, you mean to tell me we're going to fight the new guy and the OG is going to get decapitated on just a one-off? Absolutely silly. Absolutely.
Do you get to fight him if you choose the other option?
So the bad ending is my next thing. It is absolutely stupid and should not even be there. It is such a waste of time. Basically, the way that bad ending goes is you destroy Alpus, and Wesker just blows Leon's brains out, and Grace gets away. That's it. Credits roll. And then you get to the end, or like the credits, and it's like, hey, you want to go back and make the choice? It's like a gotcha. Haha, gotcha. It's like,
so there was only ever one, which it makes sense. There's only ever one canonical.
There's
ending.
one actual ending. It's like,
Right,
why did you do this? Like, in my mind, what you should have done right there is, okay, you have two endings. Sure, let's do two endings. Do the one ending where Grace has to fight Gideon and Leon has to fight Zeno.
Yeah.
That's how you do that.
You just want that Wesker Leon fight real bad.
I mean,
it would be cool. It would be cool.
I do want that really bad, and then I wanted it even more when you gave me this lame boss fight at the end of this game. Like,
it's
you
very,
gave me this
very RE. Like, we gotta put some big creature at the end. So here you go.
Like, and it wasn't even. And it's once again, 4s is better. You're actually running around in an area, and there's things to dodge, and there's a fight to it. That is just hit the blobs, parry the monster, like parry the cars with your hatchet. Because and it's even dumber because it's like, I don't know, man. It just
we skipped it.
Huh?
I said we skipped it, but I just have to say it. They killed fucking Hunk.
Oh yeah, we did skip that. Yeah.
I didn't want to say it because I
didn't dislike that.
I've stopped huffing my copium. That's Hunk or not Hunk or whatever. It's got to be Hunk.
It's Hunk. It's 100% Hunk.
Oh yeah, I know. But it's like, I don't know. And I get it. Like, there is a subgroup of Resident Evil fans, and we're all huge fans of Hunk. And the whole thing with Hunk is his survivability. And I don't think that fight, like, it's not the fact that he's a superhuman. It's like his straight sheer durability, effectively. And I feel like that fight didn't capitalize on the fact that he's a tough son of a bitch, which is like the whole thing. Like, it was just a fight. Like, if that fight would have like been a knockdown, drag out fight, I would have been more satisfied.
Insanity, you know what I mean? Insanity makes it harder.
And for what it's worth, I was watching him do that fight. He did get because I just straight axe fought him. That fight is made to be an axe fight, and it does have what you're saying, where you're like tripping each other and parrying, and you're in each other's faces, and you're cutting, and everybody's like, it's got a way better tension. Adrian was 1s and 0ing him. He was parry, kicked him, shotgun. Parry, kicked him, shotgun. Like, he was dogging him.
Yeah,
to where it was like, I was watching.
Parry, shotgun, shotgun. Parry, shotgun, shotgun. Parry, shotgun, shotgun. I just waited.
Saw you doing that. I'm like, he's about to be so disappointed what he's doing to his boy right now. Like,
I thought there was going to be more. Right. I thought, to be honest,
to your point, that's Hunk. He should have been prepared for that.
He is the guy that trained all the operatives in Operation Raccoon City. He's like their god. Like, he personally trained them. He is a living legend. I would have loved, and here's the thing. I get it. Like I said, I've accepted what it is. He's gone, like, just an axe to the neck. But
at least it was Leon.
At least that's the best I can give him. At least it was Leon. But it's like, I don't know, man. There's a part of me that, even like the end scene, I had a little bit of something in me where I'm like, dude, I fucking hope Hunk shows up at the end, where, like, and that, because that's the thing. It's not about him being just like the greatest. It's like, dude, you can't fuck him. Like, if he would have showed up at the end where they're like, all the BSAA operatives are gone. It's like, and we have a survivor, and it's like fucking Hunk. It's like, that's all I wanted.
Let me
because he's not like a main villain. I wouldn't call him. Like, yeah, he works for Umbrella, but realistically, he's just a mercenary. He's just a company man. He doesn't care about any of this shit. He's just here to do his job and go home.
Let me take back my 100% that's Hunk, because the game doesn't directly name him, and we're now introduced to clones of Wesker. And when you play it on insanity mode, you kill him, and 2 more Hunks run in the room. So that is a thing. I don't know who they are. Are they clones? Did they just clone a bunch of hunks?
It would make sense.
I don't think they're Tumor hunks. I think they're those special ops that you are killing.
There's normal guards. It's not axe fighting them. Okay. So, and even though I hated the final fight and I thought like that bad ending was bad and blah, 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 it does end off on a super high note of seemingly setting up for a Chris Leon game,
or just a Chris game.
Yeah, at a bare minimum, a Chris game.
Yeah.
But, man, give the people what they want. Do a Chris Leon co-op game and quit messing with my, come on.
Tell me who Leon's married to. And if it's not Ada, how dare you?
Yeah, right. And what you...
Is he married?
He puts on a ring at the very end.
Really?
Yeah, he takes his gloves off and he puts a ring on.
I was too busy making jokes about him throwing $200 Armani gloves on the ground, letting the fucking peasants pick them up.
Yeah, so that game is where you have the real Wesker and the real Hunk come in. And that would be so sick for them to, like I was saying, I think on the last podcast, and kind of to what you're saying, redo 5 to put in that new Spencer lore, because it could kind of almost be the same thing as Ada, where Ada used to be really evil and now she's kind of not. Where it could be the same thing where Spencer maybe was, I guess he's more ambiguous than Ada was with less screen time, to where you can kind of retcon that. And then Wesker is at the end of the 4 remake and he's in separate ways. And it's his same voice actor with Zeno, but then Gideon looks at him and says, "You're just like a cheap imitation." And obviously you are, because you got dog walked. Wesker would absolutely question what Elpis is. He wouldn't just be like, "Give it to me, yes."
Well, that's why I don't think that was Wesker. Because
he doesn't have cat eyes either. He had zombie eyes.
They were yellow. They were yellow. But that earring, not Wesker. That's not Wesker swag. And he didn't talk like Wesker. Wesker has that confidence, whereas Zeno's talking like a zealot almost. Yeah. And Wesker's off the reservation. He fucking killed Spencer. Right. These guys are still talking
there's someone above them.
Yeah. Wesker is talking like, I'm the guy. I am right. I'm going to be the number one under heaven over this fucking rock.
Zeno talks like he doesn't fully get what's going on. Wesker is I'm making the moves happen.
Right. I know what's going on because they're my plans.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that would be my hope, is that apparently there are rumors that it's not just Code Veronica getting remade, that it's Code Veronica 0 and another one. I really hope that's personally not the case, if I'm being real. I'm cool with Code Veronica, and it's not that I think those games are bad, but that means that we are years out before 5 and 6 are done. And I personally would just way rather have 5 and 6 remade and then get to 10. And you have the Chris Leon game. It's unless you do how they did RE2, RE3, where it's RE2 was the big one and RE3 came out quick. And it's and then it was RE8 and then RE4. If you can make them tight, then yeah, but a whole trilogy before 5 sounds devastating for me personally. That's what year is it? 2026? That's 2032 before RE5, dude. That sounds sick.
If I have any hopes, it is that, specifically for what my little fan service, it would be that since Chris clearly has funds, because that group is his group. That's not the BSA. Chris has apparently a lot of funds. I hope that that Hunk turns out to be alive, and that he's salty about being abandoned. They think he's dead, and Chris is like, I got money. And then Hunk does the Hunk thing where he's like, I just get paid to do this. I don't give a shit about Umbrella.
His body disappears, so he's potentially still alive.
I'm telling you. I hope or even if that's a clone, I just want him. I just want to be Hunk, dude.
Because even and that's the other thing that doesn't make sense. Why would Zeno be infected with the Raccoon City virus?
The T virus.
Why would he be infected if he's a clone of Wesker?
Right, which implies to me some kind of imperfection, because Wesker is fine.
Right.
Wesker is he I mean, and it's stated multiple times. Like that is kind of the whole core of his character is that he has perfect integration with the viruses. He's not, he's got all the benefits and none of the drawbacks. So to be effectively,
he's so cool.
Kind of dying. I don't know because they never really imply that Xeno is suffering from it. It just shows that he's infected by it. But even then, Wesker doesn't even have that. With the exception at the end of 5, where he's fucking sitting in magma, so the virus is covering his body. Like there's no visual cues besides his eyes that would imply that the virus is essentially winning. Like that, yeah. the visual representation of his body implies a non-perfect symbiosis.
Like I guess with the story in this, I don't want to be a negative Nancy about it, but I kind of feel like it's a rushed retcon game to wipe the slate clean because none of it makes sense. Like none of it. the nothing, like, yes, the pacing was incredible, but it's like, okay, Grace isn't special, but she got bit by a zombie in the beginning, so she's obviously special. Okay, this clone of Wesker, thing, and it's like, okay, everybody's like just getting offed really quick, and even kind of the thing he says at the end, where like, this time you're not coming back, and like shoots the Nemesis, which I guess it's Nemesis. I don't know how it's Nemesis.
Well, it's a Nemesis. So a Nemesis. So the Nemesis is just a
classification.
Yeah, it's a classification. So like
Gideon was a Nemesis the whole time.
Yeah, so Nemesis are a step up. They're a tyrant variant that's a step up from the Mr. X variant of the tyrant.
So Gideon was a tyrant of some form.
Right, the whole time, which is
really
weird.
Awesome. You never got to fight him in any way, shape, or form outside of a big.
But it also doesn't make sense because he would absolutely know that, and if that's the case, there is no reason he was running from Leon ever. Like when you get up from the interrogation and you pull the gun on him, he's a fucking tyrant. What is he scared of being shot by a 9mm for?
Unless it's imperfect or something, maybe.
But that's also the point. We are trying to retroactively make it make sense, whereas it should just make sense.
That's what I'm saying. The game really, story wise, is in my opinion, and once again, I'm not a big Resident Evil lore guy, so there might be tons of stuff I'm missing, but that story is
it only now that I'm really now that we're really sitting and having a discussion about it, it's like the more I put it under the microscope as somebody who obviously not some lore master, but they consider themselves pretty well integrated with the lore. It actually kind of is, knowing the lore kind of pokes a little more holes, like stuff like that, the Gideon thing, like a Nemesis is a variation of the Tyrant, a more powerful variation of the Tyrant, but he's running from 9mm rounds,
Yeah, it's funny, too, because I've been holding off because I wanted to have this conversation first before I do deep dives into, like, watching people, like, really break down the story and be like, look, it said this in this game and that game and that game, because I just didn't want to, have my opinion convoluted by someone else's in any way when I really don't know the lore like that. But I'm excited to go watch videos and just see if, like, people that really are balls deep in the lore are like, this, because I just feel it, that it's a mess. I can just feel that things don't make sense.
Like we said, very bare bones in almost every aspect, and half-ass is not a good term, but for lack of a better one, there's just some elements that are very half-assed that they didn't go all the way with that could have made more of the game better. I guess that's my final summation with it.
Hot take. People ain't gonna like this. It's like right next to Resident Evil 6 for me.
Really?
Good game. Very fun. Not anything more than a 6.5 or a 7. Story, but like for me, Resident Evil 6, I love the combat. The combat elevates it. So RE9, it's like the presentation and the vibe and the pacing elevate it, but then everything around it is just like, it's right there with RE6 for me.
I think it's fair.
If I had to give
it's a good game, though.
If I had to give a score, I'd probably give it a 7.5.
Yeah, That's fair. I was like relieved to a degree when you said 7 the other day. I was like, okay, because I was feeling the same thing where I'm like, I don't think I'm as hot on this as I was when I first played this at all. And you were like 7. I was like, okay, I'm not crazy because I didn't want to be the guy to come in here and destroy this game and be like, eh.
No, we were pretty close on a lot of things in terms of how we felt about it.
Yeah.
I'm not so negative on the combat, but I think we've come to the conclusion that it's more so just the lack of enemy variety and lack of enemy evolution throughout the whole game. You had left for a brief moment, but Adrian and I were talking about how they just didn't go all the way with the humanized zombies in the center, where they could have fully gone, like, as they evolve into the Blisterhead, they could have went further with what they did as a regular human. Like, if one of the light switch zombies evolved into a Blisterhead and then was turning off all the lights as it was running down the hallway, like stuff like that.
That'd have been cool.
Where it just evolves their previous profession, like the cool virus. Stuff like that. It could have been super cool.
Which and to just kind of add on that, it would have fit thematically, not just for that part, but
for the virus.
It could have the virus in general. Viruses evolve. So you're telling me that all those zombies that took a nap in the dirt over 30 years, like, you could have done a lot of cool shit there because the virus has been mutating the whole time.
That's something Last of Us 2 did. When you go to Ground Zero and the Rat King is there, it's like it kept evolving. The fungus kept turning into something crazier and crazier. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's just missed opportunities. Is really what it comes down to. It was a missed opportunity that you could have kind of done something a little more, which is it's just weird that it was missed because you're the one that put it out there. You're the one that put the concept of these of the viruses mutating. You're the one that put out. I know the mutating thing's been around for a long time, but you included blister heads, and essentially the whole it's on a timer thing. You got to do it in a certain amount of time, or they're going to evolve. Okay, you're telling me they'll evolve within 30 minutes, but not 30 years. You're the one that put out the concept of them having profession-based abilities that kind of just manifested due to the virus, but you only did it for one zombie.
They can definitely put on metal scrap to protect themselves and wield a chainsaw.
Yeah, and that was like a weird random thing.
It's like a Mad Max zombie.
Out of nowhere, I just dogged the one at the gas station with the chainsaw. I had a chainsaw fight with him.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. I saw that the other day. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Two things. One, on a positive note, I do think that this game is a really good proof of concept for having both styles in the game. And maybe you could almost look at this as like the first, even though it's 9, you could look at this as like the first one. And now moving forward, it's like, okay, maybe you will expand it to where I get a full-on RE2 in a game and a full-on RE4 in a game, and you can kind of break that pacing and have that progression over the whole thing. Because if you can get that progression and have both of those, that like you're saying, it's just missed potential. This could have been the Resident Evil game, straight up. Like it was so, like, the idea is there. It seems like something happened. I mean, I know this game had some kind of tortured development because it was in development for a long time. And maybe I would say they didn't make a bad choice. If something goes wrong, it's like, well, if this is all we got, make it the highest quality you can. So I appreciate that. Because it seems like something did go wrong. And my second point, I don't remember what it was. So maybe I'll come back to my...
We're at 3 hours, boys.
I did not think this was going to be this long. I was telling everybody,
me either.
We're going to just get in and out.
Yeah, me either.
Man, that's going to eat me alive. What that other point was.
Any final words? I liked it as a whole, but there are elements that just kind of drop the ball. And in retrospect, like we said, story isn't what it could or should have been. But if I'm looking at it like a RE6 style, where it's mainly an action Resident Evil game, then it kind of hit that for me.
I also want to throw out there, no treasures.
Yeah.
Didn't like that.
I mean, there was nowhere to use it. There was no merchant other than the fucking the weird kill counter thing for the military.
And I guess what treasures are you gonna find? Like a
Right.
dirty Rolex or something?
Oh, so just real quick.
Couple of
Did Kendo get away? Was that his daughter or is that him?
I feel like that was him.
Because I saw the bullet hole in the temple and it looked like a small skeleton. And there was no secondary skeleton. That's my thing. I didn't see two skeletons. That's the biggest part for me.
The umbrella note there made it seem like they took, or like he did something with Umbrella, and then they took the kid at some point.
Oh, and then he died.
Yeah.
I got to go back and read all those. I try to like skim through them as I'm playing, but especially with this where I was trying to get it done in time so we could talk about it.
Yeah.
But I usually like to give them a read through, and I think they definitely condensed them down in this one, where you're not reading a fucking storybook. So
which I appreciate.
I'm getting relevant details and stuff like that, but it's like the reality of it is you're gonna forget a lot of that stuff, even if you have a decent memory. It's like I'm going from this to 20 to 30 minutes of zombie killing to another book to 20 30 minutes of zombie killing to trying to keep like the actual story fresh in my mind. It's like things are gonna get lost in translation.
Yep.
My last two things, whatever that other one was, is lost. But it's weird Claire's not in here. I think it's really weird. Like, it's Requiem. It's everybody's coming back. You have not Wesker and alleged Hunk and, all these things. It's like, where's Claire, dude? Why is she not in here?
Well,
seems weird.
He's recovering from Revelations 2.
Yeah, just seems kind of weird. And then, on a positive note, I will say, I wrote, respect to Capcom for maintaining their identity this long and owning it, knowing that they are the trend instead of chasing it. It's very rare. You're 9 games deep, and even though I have all these problems with it, I can't say it's not Resident Evil. Like, you are not chasing anybody else's trend. You are being you, truly. And I definitely appreciate that, because, 7 comes out, people are like, this is like PT. It's like, well, I mean, do it or get off the pot, because now this is Resident Evil. Like, they took it. Like, that's their thing now. That first person, like, because, dude, if you just sit there and look at it, it looks real. Like, when you're Grace. It looks crazy.
All the characters are hallways.
Great. Yeah, it looks incredible. So shout out to Capcom for that. And I think we had talked about it a little bit. Just, I guess there's caveats when things are this high quality, content and depth become a problem. Because it's like, even Dragon's Dogma kind of has the same problem. Animations are incredible, graphics are crazy, physics, blah, blah, blah. There's like maybe 5 to 10 enemy types. Maybe. And they're not really mixed that much. Like, it's kind of the same issue. There's not that much content. I guess you can even say the same thing with DMC5. DMC5, or DMC in general, used to be puzzles and like running around an area and kind of had that Resident Evil flavor. 5 condensed it right down to fighting. High quality fighting, but a lot less.
It's hard to make a fully fleshed out system to an extent, or a system that's hyper focused and have variety. You kind of have to choose, because having a very broad, like, let's say you have a ton of enemy variety and there's a bunch of unique ways, to interact with those enemies. You can't have a really focused fighting system. You know what I mean? It almost stretches it too thin, where it's like, if there's 30 enemies, that fighting system either needs to have 30 individual simple ways to combat those enemies, or it needs to be broad enough to encompass being able to fight all of them.
So, and that's kind of what my issue is with this game, is it's like, you do have like 7 really cool enemy types that have potential for complexity. So like DMC is really good with this, where it's like, you take those enemies, and then on a new playthrough, you'll be on the first level, and now you're fighting endgame fights right in the beginning. So it'll be like two captains with a bunch of grunts, whereas it used to be a bunch of grunts, by themselves. Dragon's Dogma 1, that's what the whole DLC was about, is just remixing those enemies in different ways because it creates combat puzzles. It's stuff you're used to, but now you have to think about it in different ways. And so that's where it always confuses me when Capcom doesn't do this, when it's like, that's what you guys are kind of known for, is taking 5 complex enemy AIs and putting them in unique situations. So every time I fight them, it feels new. It's like why Monster Hunter is what, so popular. Those are complex, 10 monsters feel like wars every single time. But Wilds kind of suffers the same thing. Super high quality, a little shallow. It's kind of becoming a trend with them, but
I'll have to report back once I finish Pragmata to see. I'm not expecting extreme complex gameplay for that, but I am expecting some interesting gameplay. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Let us know.
My simpleton brain looks at that like stupid complex. I'm like, puzzles and shooting.
Yeah. That's the part that really intrigues me, that I'm going to be managing, trying not to get hit, and my health and items and weapons, and do a BioShock pipe puzzle at the same time.
Right. I will say RE9 has tempered my expectations for Onimusha dramatically, because the stuff that they're showing in the Onimusha trailer, super high quality, looks sick. He's kicking taking the tablecloth and throwing it over him, kicking the, whatever, doing all these cool things. It's like, is that a one-time thing? Because now I'm looking at your trailers like that. Is this a one-time deal, and then that's never going to happen again throughout the whole game, and it's not truly a mechanic, it's a set piece? Because you made a big deal about this chainsaw, and it showed up twice.
I wouldn't recommend. I generally don't recommend games, obviously, if I don't think it's relevant or it doesn't stand the test of time. I would recommend you play the original Onimusha so you get the soul of Onimusha, to be perfectly honest. So you know what you're going into. It'd be the same thing I would say play older Resident Evil games before somebody played these Resident Evil games, just so they understand if they've never played them.
Yeah.
It just so they understand essentially what the game is. And
tell me if I'm wrong here. Onimusha is like Resident Evil with melee combat, right? You're solving puzzles and you're running around an area getting keys and you're fighting demons and absorbing them.
Right, but there's almost it's horror in setting alone, not so much. It's almost like I would say it is puzzles and stuff like Resident Evil with almost the energy of a DMC in terms of it's more of an action game.
Right. Because at least in my mind, what I'm thinking, and once again, maybe I'm wrong, is that in the new Onimusha, I'm going to be in probably some, maybe, whatever. Let's just say it's a Spencer Mansion-esque thing where I'm trying to get around, but in those hallways is going to be the big ogre that I get that cinematic combat. I'm not thinking I'm going to be fighting tons of people constantly like DMC so much as just based off the trailer where it's like you're locking in for super cinematic combat with a couple guys, to which that could be really cool if every time I come through the kitchen area there's tables that I broke and blah blah blah, or whatever it is.
The original had enemies, they you're at a big compound, like a warlord shogun compound, and you're running through it doing stuff. So essentially the Japanese version of a mansion. The old school Japanese version of a mansion, and then you're doing stuff there, and enemies will spawn in the hallways and stuff. But like I said, it's not really so much a horror thing how Resident Evil is, where you're trying to clear them out and stuff like that. Because there's even areas where you can farm enemies and stuff and farm up for XP. So I don't know. I'm not going to make any more speculations because obviously we've been going at this for a minute now, and there could be anything that it could be.
Also a reboot, so it's going to be something, unique and new. But yeah, good conversation.
That's all thoughts I got on it. In terms of overall, I would say, I'd say it lands about a 7 for me. I'll probably pick up the platinum. I feel like I should do it soon. I feel like I shouldn't delete the game. I feel like I should just get it now while it's fresh. But we'll see how I feel about that. I don't feel like playing it right now.
Yep.
Yeah. I was gonna wait till the DLC came out, and if it's enticing, then go back through, and then I'll have like fresh eyes and insanity mode. It'll probably have the challenge I'm more so looking for, and whatever.
Yep. Sweet.
Cool.
I think it was a good route to take for this. We could have just easily went into a review, but I think with Adrian having just finished it, kind of going through it again, refreshing it, kind of helped. Alrighty. Well, we thank you for joining us. This was a long one. We're at a little over 3.25 hours. So check out the socials there. Putting shorts up, putting tactics up, streaming on Saturday.
Matt, I will bring up your Steam Machine OS point next podcast. I'm going to formulate some good questions. I'm going to formulate some questions so we could talk about it. I know you were really excited, and I know you listened to all of them.
Thank you.
So I did not forget about you. Oh yeah, no, he'll call me when, like, as he's listening to it and like be bringing up points and stuff. So I know you're going to hear this. We will talk about it.
Yep.
I just right now this one was for RE9, so it didn't really have a place. So I'll allocate some good points for that, and then we can discuss it next time. So don't come at me.
Yeah. Kevin, you too. You put a question in the Discord, and Matt, if you want, throw the question in the Discord for the topics. That's actually a pretty good organizer. It'd be pretty cool just to have people throwing those in there. It's just an easy one-stop shop, and everybody can see what other people are asking. Maybe it'll spark some ideas for you.
Yep. Throw it in the Discord, or throw it on some YouTube videos that we're putting out. Ideally, maybe the actual podcast video, but wherever's easier for you, we'll see it all, and we'll incorporate it into the shows. Any final words from you gents?
Nope, I'm good.
Sweet. Well, this has been Redacted Party Chat, Case 21. This is Vaughn.
Adrian.
And Brandon.
We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later, y'all. Take care.
Toodles.